$10 ticket link takes you right over there. And like you said, we've got the numbers are looking pretty good. We can talk more about it here in a little bit, but the numbers are looking pretty good right now.
Video stream up and running. You can watch the show as well. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Twitter. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any bit of the show. All right, let's start with the Royals, and we'll get into some draft discussion, including a conversation we heard Carrington having. I thought I actually made a couple of really good points about what the Chiefs should do because of the quarterback that they actually have. But the Royals, game one, they fall to Detroit, of course, last night. The losing streak continues. Last night was different in regards to not just that the offense did not score enough. We've seen that, but 10 guys were left on base. That was a
bad opportunities. One for 12 with runners in scoring position.
10 left on base. 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. And there's been some bad at-bats throughout this losing streak. But there was a sequence, I'll be like, legitimately just kind of ticked me off. Like, cause
you're just getting like mad at watching it? Yeah.
Well, bases loaded, 1 out. And Drew Waters comes up to bat. Absolute abysmal plate appearance. Kyle Isbell comes up to bat. First pitch swing, pops it up. Inning over. They get nothing out of the bases loaded 1 out sequence. Michael Massey actually got on base 3 times if you're trying to find any bit of positive.
And was like doing it in any conceivable way.
Yeah,
a bunt, a
everything.
CNI single, a soft single to the opposite field, whatever.
But last night the story was, they left guys on base. It wasn't that they only had 2 or 3 hits. They actually got on base in various form or fashion. They lose to the Detroit Tigers 6-1. And now this team is positioned to where, as we discussed with our benchmark for the road trip, now they essentially, to get to the number that we were hoping they could at least get to a bare minimum, they got to win 2 of the next 3, which is we said they got to split this series. They got to win 2 of the next 3 now somehow. They got Scuba on Sunday.
I guess the only advantage, and that's not going to help, but the only advantage is that at the very least now you're back to the top of your rotation. The problem is that the Tigers' rotation is pretty good. If I'm just feeling like being an optimist today, if you want me to just roll in and be like, hey, a sign that things are getting better. Before, they weren't even getting guys on base, Gold. So they're one step closer to what it takes to score runs. First, you have people on base. They weren't even doing that for the last week. Now they had people on base, and then it went miserably. We are at officially there are no bad one-day ideas. I'm not saying send everybody down. I'm not saying change your entire order. But if for one day Michael hits leadoff, or for one day, and I think yesterday was kind of that in the interim where, they got Waters in there, and for one day, there's no bad ideas as far as how you want to construct figuring out a way to get some runs. As I told you yesterday, I'm pro fight now, officially on board. I want someone to throw a beanball tonight and try to scuffle a little.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. I mean, I said somebody was going to get ejected yesterday.
It was Zumwalt,
it wasn't
not
Q, but it does that stuff gets overblown a little bit.
A little, yeah. But
we'll ask Jake Eisenberg here in 30 minutes when he joins us. What's he sensing in the clubhouse? He's in the clubhouse every single day. We know fans are plenty frustrated. How can you not be watching this team right now? Has that trickled down in the clubhouse in terms of is there confidence waning with anybody on the team? We'll get some insight from Jake Eisenberg coming up in 25, 30 minutes.
Last night was, out of all the ones that have been frustrating, maybe the most frustrating. Because the exact 2 things happened against you. Lorenzen got in a little bit of trouble and was unable to secure the out, so Detroit got 4 runs. But again, gave up 6. But at the time the point the game mattered, before you put in Chris Stratton to throw a grenade onto it, you'd have never gotten to him if the game was close. So before you went to that scenario, you would once again seemingly look like you were barreling towards giving up 4 runs again with an inability to get anyone across. They had a timely hit. You had 0. And it's the same guys. I mean, that's the problem. It's I don't care how many times I was happy Michael Massey got on base. Good sign, right? You need other guys to get on base, etc. Still same problem. Why isn't Indy on base? Where's Vinny Pascal? They had their part of this 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Vinny and Salvi and India and other guys who could have helped contribute, be run producers. And right now, it just feels like no one is capable of doing that consistently. I don't want to come in here every day and just be like, well, the offense can't score, because that's kind of what it starts to feel like.
Right.
I refuse to believe still that a lot of these averages as they are right now are there. And somebody yesterday had texted and they're like, hey, Jonathan Indy's a career 260 hitter. I don't know why you expect him to be a 300 hitter. I'm like, I didn't. I at no point told you I expected Jonathan India to be a 300 hitter. I expected him to be a 340 on base guy. I expected him to give quality major league at bats. I expected him to fight, and I didn't expect him to hit 185, and I don't expect him to continue to hit 185. I expect him to eventually right.
I still want to
this,
know
but-
that tomorrow, when I think it's tomorrow, when Mark Canna is eligible, not that like the fact that we're talking about Mark Canna being
Canna
an
was hitting
upgrade,
well, though.
but he was hitting well. Mark Canna comes off the IL. All right, what's the corresponding move? Is it just simply send Drew Waters back down? I think that's what it should
Tolbert
be.
Waters,
I think it should be Waters. Whether it was the fielding errors he made in the first week since he was up. Last night, I just thought the at-bats were atrocious, absolutely atrocious from him in particular. And I'm not, it's just the reality of like he's the easy player to send down. So, and he was not on the opening day roster anyway. So
yeah, that too, like you had mentioned, that was maybe out of any single player the entire game, that was probably the single angriest I was at any at bat. He came up, big spot. Royals got something cooking. Bases loaded, 1 out, let's go. And he swung at 2 balls, 3 straight pitches, and struck out on 3 pitches. I'm like, hey, Drew, you trying here, man? What? Come on. We got to, like, focus up. And then, like, and everything went wrong. They challenged a steal that didn't look like he was going to get it overturned, didn't. And then the next inning, when you've got something going again, Renfroe rolls into a double play. There wasn't a double play. He was safe, but you can't challenge it. Because you just blew the challenge. And you're
yeah,
like,
but
oh
we've talked with JJ Piccolo about that challenge situation and why it's kind of weird to have challenge limits because the ump always grants it. Last night, for whatever reason, the umpire didn't even grant. Now, that's not why they lost and everything like that.
No, but like, why aren't you giving it to him?
That's just that adds to the frustration, right? When things aren't going well, then you feel like you did get screwed at one moment by an ump or whatever. Then it just fuels the flames even more, and that's where we're at. We're now every single game, anything that's not positive, because there's very little positive to take out of these games right now during a losing streak, everything's magnified. And that's where we're at. And they're doing it against a division rival, a team that is in first place in the AL Central. And then you were hoping to reset and get started off on the right foot in the series, knowing the pitching matchup on Sunday that you have. And I don't know what that was. And,
is that on my computer?
I think so. I don't know.
Is that you, Drew?
And
I was like, I don't even have anything pulled up.
Ghosts in the
Yes,
studio.
I'm editing something, and there's a pod. Up.
And
I was like,
the way the series could shape up on Sunday, if you were talking about going in bare minimum split, obviously you would love to take 3 or 4. Now you've put yourself against the wall pretty good, given Sunday. You're basically got to win today and tomorrow almost if you think you're going to split.
well, yeah, because again, I can't go into any Sunday being like, I bet they'll get Scooble today. You're like, I mean, maybe baseball's weird, like you mentioned, and sometimes that will occur. But I mean, still, no one is hitting. Renfroe's still rolling into double plays. MJ's still not getting up. Massey was the only guy who hadn't been hitting
Last night.
who had a good night
Yeah.
last night. So at least you're like, okay, like there's plenty of time to like right the ship and everything else. And they're 3.5 games out of first place. I'm not saying that there's just like, but this isn't the bad start to the season we've seen where they bury themselves, right? Where they start 5-15 and you and I are like, well, didn't even make it to Memorial Day. Was nice while it lasted, but like, can you get a win tonight, please? Like, I'm at the point of not begging, but like, please, like it would just to make everyone feel a little bit better. All 4 of these games were winnable, and you lost all 4 of them. And so like that part becomes frustrating, especially because there was a game against the Guardians you could have won as well. Like, in a way, not one of them. You lost like 7-zip or whatever the hell that one was, but it's a frustrating team to watch right now. Mostly because it can't hit. And the pitching's not even like last night. It wasn't like good, but it wasn't bad. Also, we'd mentioned MJ. What's Stratton doing here? I mean, I've seen enough assists to already put him in. Like, I mean, I watched him get like out of 1 jam yesterday. I'm like, all right, sold. When the arms come back, we don't need to like continue with the Chris Stratton experiment. We can probably, figure out other methods of getting outs. It's a small one, but, I'd like to just point that out.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about it with Jake Eisenberg here in about 20 minutes or so. He joins us each and every Friday on the show. We'll get his perspective. He's around the team every single day. What's going on in that clubhouse? What changes does he think could happen this weekend with just some of the necessary roster adjustments that have to happen due to some guys coming off of the IL? Yep. So that's coming up in just a bit. But let's talk about the draft a little bit. We were listening to Carrington driving home. Actually, this was on Wednesday. We just didn't get to it yesterday on the show. And he was discussing, of course, Patrick Mahomes and how they've approached skill positions since he got his contract. And that's really what it is. How have they drafted skill position players since Patrick Mahomes got his big payday after I guess it would be in 2021? And so wide receiver, tight end, and running backs. For example, they have drafted Rashee Rice in the second round, Xavier Worthy, of course, in the first round last year, Sky Moore in the second round. They've spent 2 picks on tight ends since Mahomes has gotten paid in a big way. Wiley in the 4th last year, then he got hurt, and Noah Gray, who's now got a second contract with the team. He was a 5th-round pick. And then the running back, the only one since the contract, right? Because Clyde was right before the contract.
He's 2020. He was like the draft before.
Pacheco, which, of course, turned out very well as a 7th-round pick. You got a starting running back, RB1, all of that. Is that enough at the skill position players? 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and 1 running back. And do you expect that to change next week? We're talking, yesterday with Nate Taylor about some of the positions they can go. We all on the show think we're fine with them drafting defensive line in the first round. Maybe they'll trade up and get an offensive tackle. That seems to be the hot rumor right now, that they're going to trade up and get Josh Simmons. We'll see if that actually happens.
I think they want to trade up and get Josh Simmons, and I think he's going to end up going like 18 or 19. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near the Chiefs pick.
And unless all this is a smokescreen, it sure is setting up like the earliest they're going to take a skill position player is running back in the second round. I don't know if you guys are reading it the same way.
No, I read it as definitely defensive line is probably the most likely still, unless they trade up and are able to get a guy like Joshua Simmons or whoever the guy is. Because the rumor is it's for one particular offensive tackle they are willing to trade up for. We all presume it's Joshua Simmons. All the rumors around people who know what they're talking about seem to think it's Joshua Simmons. But hell, I once sat here for a draft, and when they traded up for quarterback, I thought they were getting ready to take Deshaun Watson. So thank God they didn't, or this sports radio show would be way less fun for everybody across the board. But yes, I just think that I don't think it's nearly enough. I think considering Gold, what are we talking here? We're talking 5 full drafts. And we've got what? 6 players to speak of. So we got, on average, 1 per draft. And the average round, if you average them all out, is be like a third. So you're telling me every year you dedicate a third to a young offensive player. They've spent way more time wasting picks on guys like trading back for McCole Hardman. Not wasting, but you know what I'm saying, like spending too high picks. Trading for Kadarius Toney, who had to dispel retirement rumors last night.
What was that? What was that yesterday on social media? Where the rumor was that he's pursuing a rap career and he's retiring, and then he responded and said, "Look, I've always been rapping. I'm not retiring." Now, look, the reality is, I don't think
league's going to retire.
Yeah, he may not be retiring, but there's not much of an option left in the NFL for Kadarius Toney. I don't think at this point in time, and he has been rapping throughout his. But that was a weird, out of nowhere rumor. That's not really.
I guess.
Really
I mean, maybe he just he has rapped this entire time. So I guess I'm not going to worry
Drew
about it.
was listening to his stuff when he drove in today. It was weird. I don't know.
You were listening to Kadarius Toney on your way in?
Drew was. I can't remember what his rap name is.
This rumor seemed to have appeared to people are claiming he went on his Instagram Live and claimed that.
Well, that's always listening. Instagram Live. Instagram Live has never gotten him in trouble. Did it get hacked again, or does that not happen again?
Hacked again.
Again, I'll still say I don't think anybody's wasting their time hacking into Kadarius Toney's Instagram. That's all.
No. Or his rap name, which I think is Young Jaka.
Or listening to his raps.
You weren't?
I was not.
Oh, I thought you were a big fan.
But this was his exact comment. If you're curious, if Kadarius Toney said, "Goofy's on the net hollering, I'm retiring."
Goofy's on the net?
That's what he called him. Goofy's. I kind of like that term.
Goofies.
Can I say that
Goofy's on
we
the
could
net.
do a whole segment on this show called Goofy's on the net? Like, we could rename Trash of the Day.
You got all these
Goofies on the net.
You got all these goofies on the net that want this guy fired. I mean,
Goofies on the net.
Goofies.
I got to be honest.
Let's take
credit
a
to
poll.
Kadarius Toney. That's a pretty strong sentence.
Let's take a poll because I vote yes to.
Did we rename Trash of the Day Goofies on the net?
The text line has turned into rap name suggestions for Kadarius Toney. Someone says Young Drop.
He said, "Just want clout. Ain't spinking on the," and then he put the poop emoji. No mo. So that was exactly what.
Wait, do you want to read that again for us?
I think it's all out there. The rap names are getting mean. His rap name is Offsides. His rap name should be Young Drop. That's just damn.
That's funny.
Someone said his rap name should be Wet Hands. Like it's just like it's all
they're
over
good.
the
They're
place.
good.
Wasn't there something that wasn't there when he posted the Instagram Live? Didn't you repeat it back to us in a clean version?
I did.
Is that in the system?
Probably. I'd have to go back through and find it, but probably.
I might have to find it.
I'd like, Goofies on the net is just a good term. I just got to be, that's really, really solid by him. Back to Mahomes.
Yes.
No, they're not committing nearly enough resources to him. the fact that, and look, tight end, spoiled, right? We got Travis Kelce. We don't have to like throw numbers at that position. We're not lucky, but we wisely got Gray, who I think would be a starting NFL tight end for probably 12 teams in the NFL, maybe 15 if you're feeling friendly. But Pacheco, like, he's a good running back, but all you've committed is a sixth or a seventh. Sorry, a seventh.
Seventh, yeah.
Since the time you signed the contract, and like part of that is because they were still feeling out the first round pick they'd spent on Kadarius.
Yeah.
The seconds are probably the closest to that, and like worthy with the first, but like, yeah, you should probably be committing more resources to it.
But I'm saying I don't know if you're going to get a huge drastic shift this year, other than at running back, where we know Brett Veach essentially yesterday said they're drafting a running back. Now, where it's going to happen, who knows? But they're drafting a running back less than a week from now. By this, I don't know if it'll be by this time next week, because I don't think they're drafting one in the first round. But by this time,
they should take a tight end and a running back and a wide receiver. Two offensive players this year.
Yeah, I just, they're going to probably go running back and wide receiver at some point in the draft. You think they're going to draft the tight end as well? I don't know. To me, I'm just looking at the tight end room. While this is probably it for Kelce. Jared Wiley's a wild card at this point after the injury. Noah Gray's just signed a new contract, so he's the number 2 tight end. Could be a number 1 next year if they don't replace somebody. I don't think they're going to be all that aggressive at tight end in the draft, I guess is all I'm saying. They've got plenty of numbers for this year at the tight end position that, to me, if you're worried that he retires, Kelce, after this year, then next year in the draft, you want to spend a premium pick next year and go get one, by all means, and have the rookie paired up with Noah Gray in 2026.
You can live.
I'm good with that.
It's not even necessarily like tight end. It's just, I think you might be better finding the playmaker there than at wide receiver. I'm just saying, like, running back's a given. We all agree, no questions. They should take a running back. We all have the guy we like. But they should take one more offensive skill position, at least one more offensive skill position player to go with it. It's nowhere close to the Aaron Rodgers things. They've already taken more first-round picks at that premium position than they have at any point during the Aaron Rodgers era. But this goes back to maybe an offseason conversation we had not long after they lost the Super Bowl, which is, I kind of think they should refuse to go into whatever this first day of the season is, September 5th, 6th, whatever the hell it is this year, going in not thinking we are a top 2 offense again. And the way to do that is to inundate him with weapons, because that's what they were when it was Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Sammy Watkins and all these guys together, when they had like a really powerful unit, and they had a better offensive line then too. But when they had a really powerful unit, I'm not saying it's more or less likely. I'm just saying, like, you can't park the Ferrari forever, right? You got to let him get out and drive. Everything should be going 10, 15 yards down the field.
The thing, though, we're going to all find out the answer to, clearly a big chunk of their belief, unless they surprise us in the draft, is that, hey, the offense, in large part last year, as much as we focus on the O-line issues, in large part is, well, Hollywood Brown barely played due to injury. Xavier Worthy ended up being much more of a factor, and Rashee Rice got hurt in week 4. And so part of it is, is there some risk with it? For sure, there's some risk. But part of it is they feel like at some point next year, maybe it takes till week 6 to have it happen, but they will have a Worthy, Brown, Rice wide receiver room. And then they add an explosive back to go with Pacheco, and in their mind, that's a huge upgrade in the offense. Like that, they believe last year the offense would have been a top 5 offense if it wasn't for the injuries. Now, the injury risk is still going to be there, right? There's some guys with some injury history, even though I do believe we don't need to get into the whole back and forth about it again. But Hollywood Brown, I do consider that a fluke injury when it happens on the first play in preseason, and it was an injury that nobody else has ever had happen before in the league other than Tyreek Hill. So,
the Chiefs seem to be the team.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate.
That's
just unfortunate.
Man, you're right. S. Cap, I'm not hurt. None of that S. Save that S. I'm in a body cast right now at this point. Was that Kadarius Toney? It must have been.
Cody reading rap lyrics.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You're right about the Hollywood. Look, I wouldn't necessarily disagree that the Hollywood Brown injury, but like, he's still, like, the previous 2 years he was an injured player, and 3 of the previous 4. So,
that was playing in like 12. Last year he missed more than even then. Like that's why it's different.
Normally he played between 12 and 14.
Yeah, you want to say you only think he's going to play 12 or 14 this year? Then maybe that's fine, right?
I mean, that's probably I would probably set the over under at 12.5 for him.
Yeah, last year was to me was just fluky. It wasn't even like a soft tissue hamstring injury. I mean, it was such a fluky thing. literally on the first play.
Yeah. It's just
dangerous chest injury, right? Or whatever it was, sternoclavicular or something.
Sternoclavicular.
Yeah.
Now, look, I'll say, based on that, I'd be like, yeah, I just assumed that even if he didn't have that injury, he would have missed 4 games because he's an injury, because he has a long injury history.
I mean, someone said Rasheed
12
Rice.
games would be a lot more than they got last year. Rasheed Rice playing the entire season would be a lot more than they got last year. Injuries tend to ebb and flow a little bit. I presume, like you do, that they will have better injury luck. They won't lose their starting running back, 2 starting wide receivers. They won't have their starting defensive end for half the year and everything else.
And there'll be other injuries, don't get me wrong. Though, unfortunately, there'll be other guys that get hurt, but someone on the text line said it's true. Like the Rasheed Rice one, you could put that in the fluke category. Happened on an interception from Mahomes. He's trying to run.
I don't think he's an injury-prone player yet.
He's trying to run back and make a tackle, and unfortunately, we all know what happened there, and his season was done.
Yeah. I don't. But also, we're different players, right? I'm not worried about Rasheed Rice's ability to
I'm
stay
just
on the
making
field.
it more about, hey, their thought process is we're going to have this was wide receiver room. In their mind, the wide receiver room was fine last year. The injuries is why it was a problem.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
And is there a little risk with that? Sure. But I think that was clearly how they approached this offseason. They truly believe that they have the right 3 wide receivers to run the room. Just they weren't on the field at the same time, and that's going to be the big question heading into 2025.
We promised you a little bit of an update. We just wanted to let everybody know that if they want to come to the Cody Gold road trip, it is Saturday, May 3rd in Springfield. We've mentioned this a couple times. We will for the next couple of weeks. You have until next Wednesday, if you were coming on the trip, to put in your specified shirt order. That way you can get the size of shirt that you fit in or want to wear or anything else in between. That link is separate. So if you need that, you just got to message us, 913-586-7965. As of last night, it appears a couple more were purchased this morning. We are barreling towards, we're maybe 5 or 6 people shy of 100. So we're already essentially at 100 people going on this trip. Gold, I don't know what you were originally planning on, but it looks like it's going to be a crowd. So if you guys want to come join us and have a good time, take the Major League roster out of it. Doesn't have anything to do with that. We just want to go up to Caglione and hit the ball over the railroad tracks or whatever the hell exists in Springfield. The highway, the railroad tracks, an abandoned warehouse, whatever's over their fence in right field. I just want to watch them hit it over there. We're planning on a big crowd now. So if you guys are interested in coming, 965thefan.com for more event details. $10 tickets, Gold, we mentioned. $10 T-shirts if you guys are interested as well.
Yeah, 89 listeners, plus myself and Cody and Drew and Dusty all slated to head down there, and still have plenty of time to sign up for it in general. But yes, the T-shirts next Wednesday is the deadline for that. And
got to get them in time,
That's right. Got to get them in time. And not that you didn't want the numbers to continue to be ridiculous, but more and more confident every day based off of what's going on in AA as well. For those that you were worried, is CAG going to be in AA still on May 3rd and all that? If you look at the updated numbers, he's come back down to earth a little bit. So less concerned if you were about, oh my gosh, he's just going to tear it up in AA for 4 straight weeks and get called up to AAA after 20 games. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that was probably, as
12 games in, he's hit 224. Not again, 3 home runs, 15 RBI, 14 strikeouts. Not saying that we shouldn't be excited for him. My point is that if you were not buying tickets for the road trip because you thought he'd get called up in a week and a half or something, I think you're safe.
From the 417, there's a building over the right field wall that collects baseballs. Okay, right there. Wherever he's hitting the baseball, we know that. It's been a couple of days. He's on a 1 for 15 or something stretch. I mean, it happens. I'm not gonna.
Someone said they tried to sell their wife on going to Springfield, but she's going to be out of town. Well, she's already out of town, just, unless you got kids. You just go as well. Just go out of town. You can go take a vacation.
Take the kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There'll be so many people there. Surely somebody will help, get your kid a cotton candy or something,
Is that the go-to? Not Dippin' Dots? If your kid, what's your kid asking for more? Dippin' Dots or cotton candy?
Probably Dippin' Dots, but I've said this on the show, I think, but Dippin' Dots are trash.
No, they're not.
That is trash.
No, it's just we've been lied to. That was ice cream of the future 30 years ago, and we're still waiting. That's not the ice cream of the future.
Trash ice cream.
See, I could still eat a cup of Dippin' Dots. There's no way you're going to catch me eating cotton candy at 34 years old.
It's like bad pizza. I'm not here to say
Drew, are you a cotton candy guy?
I haven't had cotton candy in a long time, but it does sound good.
Yeah, I can't do cotton candy anymore. Dippin' Dots, though, I'd still eat some in a
I can't think
heartbeat.
of the last time I had cotton candy. Just feel like my teeth are gonna fall out. Just taking a bite of it.
I'm with you, man.
There's just a point where I'm I don't think so. I'm not interested in a Dippin' Dot either. More savory. I don't really get dessert at the ballpark.
I'm with you.
Is that wrong?
No, I'm with you. Usually, that's mainly kids. I think someone that might be an expert on ballpark food. Typically, If you check
True.
out his
We asked him.
Instagram, Jake Eisenberg will sometimes have a photo or two about certain treats, certain foods at the ballpark. Jake Eisenberg, we're going to talk about the Royals' offensive struggles. He's in the clubhouse every day. He joins us next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Are you prepared for the change in seasons? Take advantage of Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Router's $69 seasonal HVAC tune-up deal to help prevent costly breakdowns and ensure your heating or cooling system is running at peak efficiency. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Our licensed technicians and exceptional service guarantee will give you peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
As you prepare for Easter and Memorial Day family gatherings, don't forget Gates sauces and seasonings. They're great on all meats, fish, chicken, and veggies, as well as hot buttered popcorn, a topping for your dips, or sprinkle Gates seasonings on your chips and nuts for that extra flavor pop. Nothing says Easter Sunday or Memorial Day like a Gates party tray, or use Gates sauces and seasonings to embellish your home-cooked meal. Gates Barbecue. Thanks with love.
If you're like me and you're trying to break through that boring lunch routine, I've got the option for you. I discovered lunch at Hy-Vee Market Grill. Forget the after-lunch fast food coma. The Hy-Vee Market Grill offers fast and fresh options with made-to-order burgers, salads, sandwiches, and wraps, like the 3-cheese patty melt, the crispy chicken or Cobb salad, BLT or tenderloin sandwich, and my personal favorite, the peanut butter bacon burger. For high quality and great value, freshen up your lunch routine at the Hy-Vee Market Grill today.
Hop into Hy-Vee for all your Easter needs, like baskets, candy, chocolate bunnies, and more. Treat your family to Easter brunch at the Market Grill. Just $24.99 for adults, $7.99 for children, and kids 5 and under eat free. Staying home? Try Hy-Vee's Easter meal deal for just $30. Get all the fixins you need to feed your duckling spiral sliced ham, russet potatoes and gravy, green bean casserole, and bakery fresh rolls. Make this your most excellent Easter ever, only at Hy-Vee.
As men get older, our bodies change. We all know that, and often we just accept the changes as the way it is. But some of those changes, such as bad sleep patterns, low sex drive, brain fog, no energy, and reduced gains in the gym, could be due to low testosterone. And that is something you can change. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And even if you're in your 30s, if you're experiencing some or all of the symptoms I just noted, you very well may need low testosterone treatment. With our treatment protocols, if you're like most men, you'll be amazed at the change. You'll have more energy, improved mental clarity, your sleep will be better, so will your workouts, and you'll likely find that your sex drive increases too. So give us a call today and make the change for good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices to serve you. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day.
Who let the dogs out?
Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Well, we're just getting started here on a Friday. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get into some new details around what might be a very popular place later on this summer. Might be hard to get into for a while, but we'll get into that and tell you what we're talking about.
Each on the list.
12 minutes or so. Yeah, you wish. I don't know. Maybe our next guest will be capable of doing that. I don't know if he knows what we're talking about. We'll have to fill him in at some point. But Jake Eisenberg, Royals broadcaster, you hear him here on 96.5 The Fan, and you'll hear him throughout the weekend as the Royals are in the Motor City taking on the Detroit Tigers. Jake, good to have you on the show again, man. I saw your post this morning. Looked like you had a nice early start right there in downtown Detroit or somewhere in Detroit. Have a nice cup of coffee and everything. How's the road trip treating you individually? We'll get to the performance on the field in a bit.
You know that wherever we go, you can count on me finding some kind of breakfast place or local coffee shop and having a nice latte or coffee somewhere. It's actually one of my favorite things to do when we travel is to find kind of these different, smaller, family-owned local coffee places and just kind of sit and enjoy some coffee and get the day started.
So it looks like you went latte today, huh? Is that what we're?
I went latte today. Yeah, there's a spot. There's a spot out here called Commonwealth Cafe. Great breakfast place, and they've got an excellent maple latte. So that's what was in the cup this morning.
Since that feels like something you should have gotten in Canada, but that's fine. I'll let it go. But when you
We're close enough, I just hop off the river here in Ontario.
He's a bridge away.
That's true. Fair enough. That's true. Since we're already talking food, we might as well start there. Dippin' Dots, underrated, properly rated, or overrated?
I mean, it's been the ice cream of the future since 1984.
Exactly.
So I feel like they're a little over their skis a little bit. I mean, if it were the ice cream of the future 40 years ago, I feel like it's either the ice cream of the present or we need a different slogan. Look, I like Dippin' Dots just fine, but it doesn't really compare to real ice cream, in my opinion.
That's it. It's like worse than even Froyo. If I want ice cream, I want real ice cream, not Dippin' Dots, not cotton candy flavored frozen.
I'm good for Dippin' Dots like once a season, maybe.
Okay, I didn't know. We wanted to at least address that. It's important stuff.
It was very important stuff that had to be discussed. We also are doing.
Well, it sounds like there's a pretty good spot opening up that I should be trying to get into. I'd like to get filled in on that.
We will.
We'll get there. Now we need your help and advice for a second. In your time in the minors, my guess is you went through Springfield at some point in time.
So I was never in the Texas League. So no, I have not been through Springfield, but I know many people that have. So if you want me to cook up a couple of recommendations, I can reach out to some folks.
Please
and
do.
What I can find for you.
We wanted some tips. We were going to ask you about the ballpark. Everybody says Hammons Field is great. That's where we're going to watch the Naturals play with Cags and everybody in a couple weeks. But every person that texted in said if you've never been there, they're like, it's one of the nicest minor league parks. Right? Okay.
Yeah, I've sadly never been. Was never in that league, but I've heard good things.
Let's talk about the team on the field a little bit. Obviously, it's been a struggle for the Royals. Last night, a little bit different than the previous week where they got runners on base, but then were still unable to get them home. 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. We think it's the top of the order. We think it's India and Vinny and these guys who need to step up first. Where are you seeing the biggest problems with the offense?
Yeah, it's it's a little hard to pin down because it's more or less the same group that last year were world beaters with runners in scoring position and were creating these frenzied innings, these frenzied hitting situations like Hud likes to say, on the TV side. And so it's a little bit perplexing, what the differences are this year compared to last year. Digging into some of the batted ball data is interesting. The Royals lead baseball in balls pulled in the air. When you dig into that a little bit further, most of that are pop-ups. The Royals also lead the majors in pop-up rate. And so that's, kind of one of the more concerning batted ball trends, because if you pop the ball up 99 times out of 100, that's going to be an out, and usually it's not a productive one in a sac fly situation or anything like that. So the pop-ups are really the more concerning batted ball trend. Pulling the ball in the air in general is a good thing. That's how you do damage in the game today. And you look at the other teams that, are near the top of baseball in balls pulled in the air, and it's the Cubs who lead the majors in runs scored, and the Dodgers are right up there. And frankly, anything that the Dodgers are doing right now, you want to try and emulate in some way. And so there are some underlying things about this offense that tell me that, this is a spurt and not an entire, thing that we're dealing with over the course of the season. Not to mention the fact, I was looking at, Salvador Perez's batted ball stuff this morning, and I've kind of been keeping a closer eye on it because he's been one of the unluckiest players in baseball this year. I mean, he hit another missile last night that, if the wind's going in a different direction or it's a little bit warmer out, it's like 10 rows deep. But last night, it's a fly out. And I feel like there's been a lot of that so far this season. I was talking about this on the air last night. There's been a lot of moments, whether it's batted balls or situations or pitches or things like that, where we've been saying, well, if this, or if only that, or what if this? And the Royals feel this season that in a lot of the games they've been in an if play away from having the score flipped in their direction.
What have you seen in the clubhouse? You're there every single day. You've been with this team just about as much as anybody over the last year or two. Is the confidence waning at all? Is obviously frustration would be understandable. It's certainly there for fans as well. So what's kind of the mood that you've seen during this losing streak, and really what has become so far a season long, even as early as it is, offensive struggle?
Well, I think one of the really great things that Matt Quatrero has done in his tenure as Royals manager is really impress upon these guys of this today mindset that we talked about a lot last year, and that hasn't been as profound this year. It's not like they've got new T-shirts this year, but the mindset is still there, and grinding for that at bat on that pitch and in this situation is still there. And I do think that the Royals coaching staff and the Royals clubhouse, by extension, has done a really good job of staying kind of focused on the moment in today, as opposed to yesterday or tomorrow or this stretch where it's been a struggle to score runs. Sure, there's frustration, but there's also, the same amount of hard work going into today's game as yesterday's game. I haven't seen necessarily, guys gripping the bat a little bit tighter or pressing, if you will. That hasn't been super noticeable. It just seems like things are not falling or clicking the way that we've been accustomed to watching this group, have things go offensively.
Is this, I guess, and you follow baseball a lot. The Royals obviously were trying to work on their on-base percentage. That was part of the reason they went after Jonathan India. Is this just the kind of streaks a team is going to go through when they do have a history of not being a huge on-base team? I feel like the slides are more, more pronounced when you're a team that has never been particularly strong at the on-base department.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I also think it's more pronounced and magnified because it's early in the season and it's the thing that we're focusing on. I do think that if this were a 5-game stretch in July and the Royals were sitting 6 games above 500, I think we'd look at it more as a blip than as a totality, which might be the case right now because we're only 20 games into the season. As far as the on-base percentage stuff goes, I think it's interesting that I think one of the Royals' strengths offensively as a team, and that has continued this year, is that this is not a team that strikes out all that much. Now, that's shown up a little bit more over the last couple of games, and you tip your cap to the pitchers on the other side, too. Remember, the pitchers are trying to get them out. But this is not a team that strikes out a ton. This is not a team that walks very much, but this is a team that has a very high contact rate. I mean, you think about guys like Vinny Pasquantino and Michael Massey and Michael Garcia and Jonathan India and Bobby Witt Jr. These are guys that don't necessarily draw a ton of walks aside from, maybe Vinny when he's walking more, but they also don't strike out a ton, which means they're putting the ball in play a ton. And right now, going back to some of the batted ball data, the issue has been that the hard hit stuff just isn't falling. Until Garcia's single, in the 7th or 8th last night, until that single, each of the last 5 hard hit balls that Michael Garcia had were outs. And that's the way it goes sometimes. And there's also, more pop-ups than they would like. So there's a lot of contact, and I think this is a contact-oriented team that is not seeing the kind of contact that they want early on this year.
We're talking to Jake Eisenberg here on 96.5 The Fan. We know potentially there's some roster decisions just with some guys getting healthy this weekend. I think Mark Canha, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he's eligible to come off the IL tomorrow. What do you think is likely to happen there? He was playing pretty well until he had the unfortunate collision there with the left field wall.
Yeah, I think what we saw from Mark Canha, both in the exhibition games in Texas and then early on in the season, is exactly what the Royals were hoping for with Mark Canha, which is a really professional at bat from the right side, kind of a grinded out plate appearance, and he was off to a pretty good start. And I think that's something that the Royals could certainly use right now, is a guy like Canha who is a lot more drawing walks and getting on base, hit by pitches and that sort of thing. Anytime you can put a base runner on, it puts just a little bit more pressure on the opposing side. And so I think getting Mark Canha back will certainly be helpful. I don't want to go as far to say that it is the solution to the overall issue. I don't think that's fair to Mark or fair to the rest of the Royals, who are still putting in the work. And it's not as if it's a Mark Canha lineup away from putting up 10 runs on Sunday. I don't think that's a fair thing to say, but I do think that having Mark Canha back will certainly help.
When you look at what the rest of the rotation has still been doing, do you look, this is optimism stuff. You obviously cover the team. We talk about this. I at least still view the idea that if they're going to pitch like this, I don't know how bad it can really be. I know
it's such a good point. It's such a good point, Cody, and I'm glad you brought that up because, this is a rotation that now in 17 of the 20 games this year, the starting pitcher has allowed 3 earned runs or fewer. 17 of the 20 games, your starting pitcher has allowed 3 earned runs or fewer. And the other 3 times that they allowed more than 3 runs, they allowed 4 runs. So you've not had a blow-up start this year. You haven't had a situation where you feel as though you've got a big hole to dig yourself out of within the first few innings. And so this rotation is keeping the Royals in the game. And unfortunately, it's been magnified because runs have been hard to come by. But if you ask me which thing is more likely to continue, which thing is more sustainable, which thing is more what you would expect, the offense, having some struggles right now, or the rotation, consistently putting up those kinds of numbers, I'm taking the rotation without blinking an eye. I think that this is a sustainable thing that the rotation is doing. There's going to be a start here or there for somebody. That's just going to happen. But more often than not, I think you're going to get quality and consistency from the rotation. And I think in the long run, that's going to put this team in positions to succeed, and ultimately they will.
You had the coffee this morning. Are you a Detroit-style pizza guy? Where are we at? I know you're from New York, right? So I guess I shouldn't even ask you. I know you're not going to choose that over New York style.
Yeah, if we're being totally honest, Alex, I'm a gluten-free pizza style kind of guy.
Okay.
So really, wherever there's a celiac-friendly slice is where I'm most happy. But if I've got to choose between the 2 locales, then yeah, I'm going to lean New York slice.
New York out of those as well, but also it's Detroit's way better than Chicago in my Chicago style. It's too much sauce.
I love Chicago style pizza.
Look, I don't want to get in trouble with anybody in Chicago. It's a lovely city and I enjoy it, but that's less pizza and more pie in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Cody just calls it lasagna, which I feel like is what people say when they just don't like it.
It's not. It is more lasagna-like than eating a pizza. You've had a lot of pizza in your life. That's not exactly. That's less like pizza than a lot of other foods.
Here's what I'll say: when the best way to eat the pizza is with a fork and a knife, it's not quite pizza, in my opinion.
All right, fair enough. You like just to fold that slice over. I get it, Mr. New York. I get it. Thanks, Jake. We appreciate it.
We're not folding the point over to the back of the crust either. We're folding it in half at the back of the crust. That is the proper way to fold pizza. And I may not have had what you would consider a real slice of pizza in 15 years, but I still know my way around a pie.
There you go. All right, Jake. Appreciate it, man.
You're the resident pro on this show,
Yeah, so there you go.
That's Jake Eisenberg. He joins us every Friday here on Cody and Gold. Of course, you hear him on 96.5 The Fan and also over on the FanDuel Sports Network. And safe travels to them when they get back from Detroit after this weekend. And hopefully they come back with a couple wins, because obviously right now it has been rough to watch the offense. And he mentioned a couple of the metrics. And let me say this. I know there's some people listening. They're like, I don't care about the metrics. I just want to see results. I understand
That's fair
that
at this point.
But this early in the season, I don't want to hear that in July. when the team's still not hitting, or
But
June.
April 18th?
When it's 20 games in, I actually will listen to the metric stuff more because you're like, hey, it's a small sample size, and if this player is quote unquote unlucky, I don't want to hear that on June 1st, but on April 18th, I actually put stock into that.
Well, I also and it's a fair question to ask yourself, which is just, hey, do you think it is more likely that the Royals that the Royals pitching does not continue at this rate, or that Jonathan India, Vinny Pasquantino, and Salvador Perez all hit 185? I'm pretty sure, look, we all think that MJ Melendez is a limited offensive player probably at this point. He's off to a slow start again this year. He last year hit higher than 185. And so if you're asking me which of the two is more likely to continue, I obviously think it's the pitching and not those three guys hitting so poorly. But the thing I had mentioned to him earlier, this is part of the problem I do think with building an offense around a team that doesn't get on base. The slump. Because if you aren't hitting, nobody's on base and accidentally gets it home either, right? If no one's on base, you can't bloop a guy home. You can't oopsie a ball that's an error that gets someone around. You can't do any of that and run into that stuff. And so if you don't get on base, I feel like the slumps are worse when you slump. And so I think there's some part of it that just feels true about that. And India has been probably the bigger issue with that because he's supposed to be the on-base guy. Right now, he's not starting hot.
Even though Bobby still has found ways to get it done at times, his job is so much tougher right now. I mean, if you're an opponent, if you're the Tigers tonight, you're not giving them anything. You're not giving them anything. Nobody's getting on base in front of them, and you're not worried about who's on after them. So you're not giving anything to Bobby Witt Jr. It's making his job even tougher. And everything right now, at the exception of on a given night of maybe one player, sometimes two players, everything as a collective is not working at the plate. And that's why they sit in the spot that they sit. Record-wise is one thing, but more importantly is the offensive numbers right now, because that's the 20-game stretch. The record itself was not that bad 4 days ago, but it's the underlying offensive numbers since opening day and why we're all having the conversation that we've been having on now April 18th, part of a 10-game road trip. The Royals, of course, on the air again tonight right here on 96.5, the Fan, as they continue their series against Detroit. We were teasing Jake there right before we had him on about some exclusive spots, and a spot in particular that's probably going to, well, they don't want to say it's exclusive, but it might be initially, because I don't know how you're going to get...
The first couple of bookings is going to be a little tough.
We already knew they announced 1587 Prime. It's a steakhouse with Kelsey and Mahomes. Is going to open at the Lowe's Hotel in downtown Kansas City. I think at one point it was supposed to open in the spring, but the latest update was it's going to open this summer inside the Lowe's Hotel. We have some more details on this. We knew it was already backed by Mahomes, Kelsey, and a hospitality group called Noble 33. They're going to have stadium tunnel-inspired entrances with brass field inlays, football-shaped seating, red marble tabletops, 238 seats, private dining rooms, and a 20-seat central bar, plus nightly live music from a grand piano opening this summer. How long is it going to take for you to actually just get into that restaurant, Cody?
A year? I mean, I don't know. Will I ever go?
Can you get reservations 6 months out? Because that's the way.
Oh, I think so.
You said you'll never. I'll go at some point.
Sure?
You'll go at some point. Yeah, I'll make it an effort to try to go at some point. Now, initially, you got to be somebody special, I think, in town to be able to get into those. That place is gonna be booked up for a while.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. I'll tell you why I'm on the fence. This has nothing to do with Travis.
Oh boy,
this has nothing to do with it. Just
here we go. I want to hear this.
Personal experience.
Here we go.
Personal experience sometimes affects it. I went years ago for an anniversary with my wife. We were probably like 20 years old to George Brett's on the Plaza. And I'm just going to tell you, awful food, awful experience. Terrible restaurant.
Now you tell me.
Okay, so all I'm saying is the last athlete endorsed restaurant I went to in Kansas City was not an enjoyable experience.
Now look, I don't know.
This one looks very nice.
I don't know the background.
But I'm going to need some reviews before I make my call.
I don't know the background. You could tell me who was the restaurant group behind George Brett's back in the day. No, my point is the group behind this one has a long-standing history of very successful, high-end restaurants across the world. That
is a pretty good sign. I'm just saying, I'm not saying I'll never go, but I'm I'm not in a hurry to get there first. Look, they offer me a seat or whatever.
No, I don't think you can go after the comments you just said.
I
don't
just
think
said
you can
I'm
go.
worried.
I don't think you can go. No,
I'm just worried.
I'll go at some point. It's obviously going to be very expensive. It's going to just be impossible to get into for a while, clearly. And there's a special VIP entrance as well, if you're wondering, for celebrities. So.
What are we looking at?
Yeah, you can enter
they released
that
a
one,
menu
Cody.
yet?
What's that?
They released a menu yet?
No.
Can I get a couple of dishes?
They're going to have the menu. They're going to have the menu out months early.
Steakhouse, right? So is the vibe?
Yeah.
I do like a good steakhouse. I'm not saying that. Someone just said can't confirm that George Brett.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It was terrible.
I'm just wondering who was behind it.
I mean, it's been so long now, man. I got no idea. I don't even have the Vegas.
This is a
idea
different level of restaurant, I believe.
And it just could have been. Yes, I do agree with that.
Much different level.
I think if I'm getting in, it's probably at least a year before they'd even let me in the door.
Well, it's not. It's just it's going to be booked up.
Do you think it's a like if you go, you think you're wearing a jacket? Is this a jacket situation?
I think it's at least khakis and a dress shirt.
Not jeans.
No jeans. No jeans.
You don't think I do jeans
maybe
and a sport coat?
Maybe a nice pair of jeans.
I think, yeah. Nice pair of jeans. Not like the ones that are frayed on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
The pair you wear a little bit less or whatever. A pair of nice looking boots or something, right? You're not wearing or maybe you get away with some Holmes colorways. Maybe you can get away with tennis shoes if they're his shoes.
I don't know. I don't know what the dress code is. It's a very high-end restaurant.
This place, based on the description and the way that you guys were talking about it, this place just screams, I can get the same quality food somewhere else, but I'm going to go just to go because it's a luxury thing.
Here's the thing.
That's
I'll
the
say
way
the way
that it screams.
The brand behind it would suggest no. And that this is just going to be a really, really, really nice restaurant with high-quality food. I'm interested if it's that, right? I like good food. I like going to a fancy dinner with my wife like anyone else. So, I am interested.
Noble 33, they're known across the world for restaurant. This is not just some. Yeah, it's a company that I don't think they're going to half-ass this thing. So, yes, will it be the intrigue for a lot of people in Kansas City because Mahomes and Kelsey are connected to it? Of course, that adds to it versus if Cody just opened up a steakhouse. And the same thing. Obviously, there'd be less buzz around it.
The Cody and Gold C&G pizza was going to kill, though.
It was.
I guess we were going to have to decide on what kind of pizza we were going to be.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I don't think we would have tried to do deep dish here. No. Honestly, would have said thin crust or New York style.
Yeah, it would have been, honestly, if C&G pizza ever comes back around, it will absolutely be. I'm looking at some of the restaurants now as part of this group. It's very few restaurants. They don't have
Someone says, you asked if there was a menu out, and I said no. And he said, Gold, they have to at least have some sort of idea. Yeah, I'm not saying they don't know the menu. Cody was asking if the menu is public yet. And I said no. Of course, no kidding. Spoiler, they're going to have fillets and ribeyes and all kinds of different steaks. Marble displays of steaks as you walk in. Of course they know the menu.
What do you think a steak's going to cost? Let's just say
a
petite
Casey
filet.
strip? Oh.
No, petite filet.
6 ounce.
6 ounce. Petite
A
filet.
la carte sides, obviously.
Oh, dude, clearly.
Obviously.
I'm asking you literally just the price of the steak. Not whatever you're paying for the chorizo rainbow carrots. Not any other side. I'm just asking you, what you're paying for just a 6 ounce petite filet.
The cheapest filet on the menu, I'm going to go
we should say
97.
Man, I was going to go a little lower. You think it'd be 97?
Maybe I'm high. Maybe it's 85. Maybe it's 85.
I'm trying to think about
it's in a hotel too. Remember that.
Mm-hmm. A really nice hotel.
That rent's not cheap.
I'm going to go 78.
Okay.
My official guess, $78 for a petite filet. That's all. That's my official guess.
From the 913, of course, Drew would say something associated with Patrick Mahomes is overrated. I didn't say that it was overrated.
He said he's worried it might be.
No. I'm just
I'll tell
saying,
you this: if it was Joe Burrow's restaurant, the venue would look great, and then it'd be disappointing all the way around.
No, I just think that it screams
on the outside, no substance.
It screams. It screams private golf club to me. I know it's open to the public, but it screams private golf club.
That's rich coming from you after you're saying we have to follow all the golf rules.
No, I understand that, but I think that again, I don't have to. If I go and I play golf. Fortunately, I have some ins and outs where I don't have to drop a band on a round of golf, and I know how to show up to a golf course. But if I'm going out to eat for a steakhouse,
someone says a steak is $87.15.
Is it worth a steak being $90 when I can get something else? When I can get a similar, I can get a good steak for half the cost, It might not.
Well, we can say that about every.
Sure.
I can say that about yes, I can make a fillet at home. I can grill a fillet at home as well. Cody would always tell me that when we joked in Vegas when I went and had a steak. Cody's like, well, I can have it. How dare you get spaghetti and meatballs at an Italian restaurant? And I was like, well, by that logic, I mean everything. There's no reason to ever go out.
But I don't apply that to every food. I think some foods are better in restaurants.
No, of course. But that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it comes across as I'm doing this because it's something to do because I have the money to do it rather than I want to actually
fancy restaurants all the time.
It's been a long time. I really enjoy going to like a fancy restaurant and getting a really nice meal. So like I'm very much pro that. We asked this once, Drew. I think it might have been before you were here as a random question. What's the most you've ever spent on a single meal? Like you and your wife, what's the maximum dollar you have spent for two people to eat? No, I just meant because that might tell you whether or not you're going here.
The entirety of it.
Yeah.
Tip, everything.
Yeah, tip, food, the whole thing. Ballpark. Obviously, you probably don't remember. Like, I've got a vague idea because, like, the couple of, like, extra nice places you've went to in your life.
Probably 100-ish.
Okay. A
little bit over 100. That'd be my guess. I can't.
I'm probably in that like
one.
I'm probably in that like 3 range for the single most expensive meal I've ever had. So like. I don't feel like that's going to be way off a base of
if
that.
If you have the money to do it, more power to you.
I don't. I just did it, Sometimes you just live life.
Well, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, people who will be first in line at this place, they're doing it more for somebody said it's 75% for the experience. Like, I feel like that's you're going because it's Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey's restaurant.
For sure.
You're not
but
going because of the food.
We've also all been to a steakhouse, and you compare it to meaning like one that's very high end, and there is a clear difference in the quality of the steak.
Yeah, you would hope that you get what you pay for it. If I'm going to pay $90 for a steak, I hope that I get a good steak. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I hope so too. Man, people are now putting in their best meals. Eddie V's $485, some $500 plus at Shanahan Steakhouse, so a different celebrity-backed restaurant. Some $400 at the Strat in Vegas. I mean.
And we dropped some coin at Barry's at Circa.
It might be more than pre and fair. I might have lowballed myself. It might be more like 4.
The way that I think about this is if a meal costs as much as my car payment does for a month, sorry.
No, I hear you. Special occasions, man. Special occasion. Nobody's saying to go there on a random Friday night just for the hell of it.
If I had to
Maybe when I get my car paid off, I'll be able to drop a.
If you sell the car, then you'll be
that too. I'd
we'll
like
just go
to do
as
that
a show,
first.
Drew. We'll just go as a show.
I'd like to
make
do
it
that first.
happen. All right, up next, guys. We're late
Media
for,
preview
for a break. Let's talk more about the wide receiver production, knowing what we might see happen early in the year, and an outrageous list to date a woman. She put out a list. We'll see if you guys agree with any of them. Next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Our biggest deal is back. The Tires at Cost sale at Telly Tire and Auto Centers. You pay what we pay. No gimmicks, no catch. All in-stock tires from Telly's huge inventory at cost. Plus mounting and balancing by certified tire technicians for only $27.95. The top brands, the lowest possible prices, with a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. There's never been a better time to replace your worn-out tires. These unbeatable savings won't last long. Hurry and reserve your tires today. Take care of your car. Take advantage of our sale. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for junk tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
My name is John Clay Wolf. I'm the founder of GimmeTheVin.com. Every month, for the next 10 months, everyone that sells us their car to GimmeTheVin.com will get put in a drawing for a $25,000 winner. We're going to pull one of you out of a hat, and somebody's going to win 25 grand. So we're paying more, and you might win 25 grand. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's Best Car Buyer for nothing.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. Human trafficking is occurring right here in Missouri. You can help combat it by learning the signs of human trafficking and reporting suspicious activity to law enforcement. Victims may appear malnourished, show signs of mental or physical abuse, or avoid social interaction. If you're a victim or know someone who needs help, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or text the word HELP to Be Free. Together, we can fight human trafficking in Missouri.
Brought to you by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows. Get tickets and info at livenation.com. Daniel Tosh, Tuesday, June 17th at Kansas City Music Hall. Chicago, Saturday, June 28th at Starlight. Live and Collective Soul. Wednesday, July 16th at Starlight. Party. Thursday, August 14th at T-Mobile Center. And Goo Goo Dolls. Friday, August 22nd at Starlight.
For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Let's talk about sex. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and Blue Chew is your secret weapon for the bedroom or wherever you decide to get it on. You know, pro athletes train every day to perform better on the field, but what if you could improve your performance in the bedroom with no training required? That's right. I'm talking about Blue Chew. Turn oh no into oh yes with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is an online prescription service. There's no visits to the doctor's office. There's not those awkward conversations. And you don't have to stand in line at a pharmacy. It ships right to your door in a discreet package. And their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. And if you don't like swallowing pills, that's no problem because Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. If you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit BlueChew.com. We got a great offer there for you. Get your first month free when you use our promo code KFNZ at checkout. Just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code KFNZ to receive your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
What's up, KC? This is Matt Quattrero. On your way home from the ballpark, make sure to listen to Vern's postgame show right here on 96.5 The Fan. I will not be listening.
96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour, it's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. 15 minutes away from the trash of the day. Maybe we'll get back into the restaurant conversation in the 1 o'clock hour when Rob Collins joins us. My guess is he's been to a nice restaurant or two at some point in his life. We'll get his perspective.
He's a picky eater, though. I don't know if he wants to spend...
He likes steak, though.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
But does he want to spend good money on a steak?
What was it yesterday that we said Rob might not eat? That's what it was.
We are going to do a
rank
chip draft later on.
How many push-ups do you think Rob Collins could do?
More than everybody in this room.
Straight combined?
Yes.
Over
Damn, I think we could get him combined. Come on.
Over the course of a minute or
like
straight
until you can't push up anymore.
If it's good form, at least 50.
I don't think you're giving Rob enough credit if it's not good. I mean, he's going to have good form.
We'll see.
You and me and you, Gold, not so much.
So we'll find out. We'll talk to Rob Collins about that. Don't forget, this coming Thursday, we'll be at the Landing in Liberty. Hope to see you guys there for our NFL draft party. Looking forward to that. Bink and Chris, Sarah are going to be broadcasting live. Your chance to win $965 plus a Jawan Taylor autographed helmet. Let's talk some Chiefs football before we get to this outrageous list from a woman trying to get dates. It's crazy. Absolutely insane. Maybe you guys don't think it is. I think it is. So we'll get to that in a bit. But we were discussing the wide receivers and the skill position players and how much draft capital they spent on wide receivers since Mahomes got his 10-year contract after the 2020 into the 2021 season, I should say. And knowing that there's still a chance that a suspension happens for Rashee Rice, even though Nate Taylor was kind of talking with us yesterday, like, hey, there's a chance maybe this thing ends up getting knocked down because time goes on. It's like a 2-game suspension instead of a 6 or a 4 instead of a 6 or something like that. Who, in the early look between Rice and Worthy, who do you actually think ends up with the better year? Because I think we all remember how the first 3.5 games were looking, or 3 1/4 games were looking.
Rashee Rice looked like he was going to be a 1,400-yard wide receiver.
I feel like the simple answer right this second, it's Rashee Rice. As great as Worthy's final, fourth quarter in the Super Bowl looked, the guy also had 5 yards until then. Worthy's going to be a stud for this franchise for a while, but for next year, just a pure yardage game, not touchdowns or anything else, just pure. Who's going to have 1,250? Who could have 1,000? Who could have 800? Whatever. Rice will have more receiving yards than Worthy next year.
Is it? So
he's going to get more targets too.
I thought the obvious answer, my initial thought, the obvious answer was Rashee Rice as well. But then I was starting to factor in, hey, there could be a small suspension, and we don't know. Like Nate Taylor certainly talking me into maybe it's only a 2-gamer this year, and it's not the significant time we thought. He's still coming off a serious injury. And while it took Xavier Worthy longer to get up to speed than it did Rashee Rice in his rookie year, so Rashee Rice was a more effective rookie year player, I'm actually starting to lean towards Worthy.
Really?
I
think... You just need to connect on a bunch of the deep passes?
Yeah. I think the deep passing game part of it is there. And when I started to go through his end of the year run, he had started turning into a 70-yard game per guy. He was like a 80, 90-yard game per guy in the postseason. Now, of course, that 157 and 2 touchdowns he had in the Super Bowl were an absolute massacre. So obviously those are not garbage time because they weren't all in garbage time, but effectively garbage time. Yardage out of there. I think it's going to be close. The way I'm starting to view this offense is that if you made me, and I'm sure we will as we get closer to the regular season, start ranking them out, I think it might be like 1,100, 1,000, 900 between Kelsey, Worthy, and Rice, and that this is going to be kind of a sweat. And the factoring difference is going to be how healthy is Rashee Rice and how's he feeling for those first couple of weeks? Does he take on a little bit of a suspension? And what level they use Travis versus previous years? I actually think all three of those guys are going to be really close. And I'm not saying I'm like fully in, and I'm just like promising you right now. I kind of want to see more as the offseason progresses. But part of the reason I wanted this question asked is I'm starting to lean towards it might be Xavier Worthy. And that's coming off of, as you know, I was pretty bullish on Rashee Rice going into the year.
That's what I think is interesting.
And it definitely looked like he was going to blow up. I'm not there yet. I probably wouldn't take the leap. But I think those guys are going to be a little bit closer. The suspension coming off the injury concerns me a little, I guess.
The health thing is fair. I would say that every indication so far has been that he's ahead of schedule on the rehab for the knee injury. And as we know, the ACL injury is not nearly as devastating as it once was. Like plenty of guys now come back, especially if they're young and they're not 34 years old trying to come back from an ACL. If they're in their young, low 20s, early 20s, I should say, usually they bounce back pretty quickly, and we know what he was doing. He obviously has a good grasp of the offense, all of that. The question for him will be, are we talking about losing 2 games, 4 games, or 6 games, or none? And look, if he's out for 6 games, well, then Worthy's
well, then
easy.
your answers, or Kelsey, right? Or, like if I tossed him into the question mark.
Maybe so. But it's interesting. We'll revisit, as you said, I'm sure, numerous times before we get to the start of the season. But it is kind of interesting to look at how maybe we perceive it. Worthy had the only positive thing going in the Super Bowl, but that happened, I'll call it in garbage time of the fourth quarter. Now, there were still starters on the field for the Eagles. I don't want to act like it was their third string that was out there or something, but it was in garbage time, and then he racked up and ended up having historically great receiving day in the Super Bowl, right? Didn't he break a record?
156 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, it
ended up being one of the better receiving for a rookie. I'm sorry, I think it was a rookie receiving
record,
Super Bowl record.
I was like, that's probably not the Super Bowl record, 156 yards, but yeah. But yeah, I mean,
I saw an Instagram post, I'm sure you did too. Worthy, Nico Remigio, Sky Moore, Pacheco, Elijah Mitchell were all down or at Camp Pat right now, an early version of Camp Pat. Getting some work in down there if you guys were. Maybe Justin Ross? Maybe I saw Justin Ross.
I think so. A lot of the same names,
Sure.
Who's going to be the Camp Darling this year? We had Luis Reese-Zammit last year.
Well, let's find out who the undrafted kid is they bring in, or who has a 6th-round pick or something like that. That's your answer. I mean, if Justin Ross is hanging around, people will still name.
In fairness, every once in a while it works out. I'll tell you right now, Trey Smith was one of the talked about players at camp one year. He was like the big storyline. Oh man, he's gonna beat out the vet. He's gonna beat out LDT. Who knows?
Usually, Camp Darlings are skill position guys, though.
Typically,
but I hear you.
Yeah, it's the Dresslers, the Reese-Zammits. Carson Steele was last year's Camp Darling. Typically, I agree with you. It is usually the guys who can catch a football. In previous years, it's probably been Justin Ross, or
it's probably going to be the rookie running back, whoever they draft. It's probably going to be the rookie running back with a ton of speed that everybody just is enamored with. That's probably the answer to the question. Whoever that is, whether it's Sampson, whether it's one of your guys, who knows?
Yeah, I guess we're all trying to figure out. Do you have a backup, by the way? Sampson or nobody, or do you have have you developed a secondary crush yet, or are you still working on
Sampson's the number one running back that I think is realistic, I guess, also, right? We all would want Ashton Jenney, but the number one running back that is realistic, I think Sampson. I don't hate the Travion Henderson idea. If I went further down, then I would probably take one of the local running backs, and I would say I would take Devin Neal or Giddens, and Giddens might be a better fit for the Chiefs. But that's where I would probably go. I think it's interesting. I saw there was quotes out of Denver today because much like the Chiefs, the Broncos had media availability around the draft. And Sean Payton was quoted today, I think, saying how much that they love the running back class. They expect to be able to find a running back. So everybody's saying the same thing. So that's the only thing to keep. Like, as much as we say how deep it is and great, and the Chiefs are going to draft one, so is everybody, it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a bunch of teams who can use running back. It's also, I think, running backs have come back. I think some teams are going to talk themselves into it because of the way it worked for Saquon Barkley. It's a mistake, in my opinion. You shouldn't value them any more or less than you did 3 years ago just because, Saquon Barkley, a once-in-a-generation level of running back? helped carry a team to Super Bowl. By the way, they also still had a pretty good quarterback and an elite level defense. So like, it's not like
there's just a lot of talent in the draft too. More than even it's like, oh, we now running backs are the end thing again. I think it's some of that for sure.
Everyone thinks they can get their guy.
Everybody's looking at the draft class and saying, man, there's just a ton of talent here compared to a year ago maybe in the draft class.
I've seen a couple of texts come in, so I'll continue to remind you. If you're looking to go on the Cody Gold road trip, 965thefan.com will get you your ticket needs. You'll see a link right there on the homepage that'll direct you to our $10 ticket deal. We're going to go watch CAG Saturday, May 3rd at Hammons Field. We're going to meet at Harbell's Bar before the game to hand out CAG's t-shirts. If you purchase one in advance, we will send you that link separately if you have purchased tickets. I've seen a few people text and say, hey, I purchased tickets. Where can I get the thing? I will let you know. We are up to, and 91. I believe.
Plus us, 95.
So 95 people right now. Going down to watch CAGs. Can we get to 200? Let's just see how many people we can sit in the stands. We're all sitting right behind, in case you didn't know where our seats are. We got the section set up right behind the third base dugout. You can imagine that that's where CAGs will be.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get noticed. We want as many people in those CAG shirts, but those are an optional purchase. That is not something you have to do to attend the game with us.
Yeah, people are asking where the four of us are sitting. Dusty's coming down with us. Well, Section J. And if you go to our ticket link, it directs you right to Section J or K.
Everyone's going to be in one of those three sections. Like, we're all going to, and it's a minor league park. Don't think about this am I going to be sitting on the opposite end of the universe of you guys? No, we're all going to be in the same area.
All right, I want to get to this outrageous list. So, yesterday, New York Post put out an article about dating. And there's this is not a fake thing. It's a real thing. It's in their category of I don't know if you frequent the New York Post sex and relationships column very often, Cody, but that's where this
one.
They have
a column for that?
It's under the category of sex and relationships.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Single slammed over outrageous list, as she should be. So
single for a reason? Is that what I'm about to find out? Okay,
so
let me hear it.
She is a part-time personal trainer that makes less than $10,000 a year. That's relevant for this conversation. Okay.
Okay, so
it's relevant.
So she's not contributing to the finances in this relationship.
Was texting. Someone screenshotted the conversation, and he texts her and says, "I just read your profile. Tell me about the checklist." She responded with the cryptic, "Want to see it?" He goes, "Of course I do." She sends a PDF.
PDF?
A screenshot, but it might as well have been a PDF. It's 18 non-negotiables. Now, some of these are understandable.
It says it was titled bare minimum for her husband.
Yes.
Like this is like
bare minimum for her husband.
This is like you're barely meeting her standards. This
bare minimum for husband. Some of these are understandable. Others are outrageous. So number one, loves me deeply, puts me first. Okay, we've heard that before. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, just as long as you don't have kids.
Yeah,
sure.
Next one is where it starts to get crazy. Financially successful, $300,000 a year.
Oh, I didn't know that part. Okay, so financially successful.
Yeah, you want someone that's financially
who's
stable.
got their their life together. Okay.
$300,000 or more a year, which someone did the math on the research on it said that's only like 2.3% of all men in the United States. So you're already really narrowing. You're already really narrowing.
300. It's that high.
2.3%.
2.3%. What the hell am I doing wrong? I'm just gonna be honest with you guys.
Well, you're married. You're fine.
I'm not making $300,000
You're
a
not?
year.
Wow, you got to get negotiating.
So list two, and I'm already off.
Generous and spoils me. Okay, that's.
I mean,
that's
if I
fine.
make $300,000, I guess that's not a problem.
But even if it was, that's fine. You've heard that before. I've heard that before, at least, right? Sophisticated, enjoys luxury. Well, we figured. Emotionally intelligent and confident. Ambitious and disciplined, chivalrous and protective, family oriented and well connected. Nothing wrong with that one.
What the hell's well connected mean? Like well connected with my family, or like I got people? Like I can get you a hyena in less than 48 hours notice.
That part.
Fit, attractive, and well groomed. She also lists, takes control and makes plans, keeps his word, supports my goals and lifestyle, fun, outgoing, and socially respected, prefers privacy over social media validation, loves traveling, sexually disciplined and loyal, handles pregnancy prevention,
I'm gonna have to come back to some
makes
of these.
life easier, parentheses, maid/chef.
I know exactly who she's talking about.
Okay. I mean, first off, I got a lot of questions.
She's a gold digger. It's very simple.
What do you think she means by sexually disciplined? As in, I don't cheat on you?
And loyal, yeah.
I don't cheat on you, or like I'm like getting, like I got reps or something. Like what is sexually disciplined mean?
And loyal. I think it's that she's the one partner. Clearly,
like that, and also
are we misreading that?
The discipline part, maybe not.
I don't know.
She said she wants you to have. Oh my God.
I
What
don't
were you
know.
thinking, Drew?
No, so the
I don't
person-
think she's saying just chew it and do it. I think there's more to it, Drew.
That was very good. That was a rhyme scheme right there. The way that the person who I think she's thinking of the individual, I think his name's Ashton Hall, the guy that dips his face into the cold water and everything and puts out those videos. That's the type of individual that she wants to be with.
I got to be honest.
Luxury, nice
Here's-
lifestyle, takes care of their body.
Here's part of my problem. Is like, what the hell is
luxury.
she? What is she bringing to the table here?
She makes
What's
$10,000.
less than $10,000 a year, part-time personal
I know,
trainer.
but like she still wants someone to cook. She's not even doing like if you like. I don't care what your relationship dynamic is, but if your desire in a relationship is like, hey, my dream one day is I want to be a stay-at-home mother. I want to be there for my kids. Well, then like I need you to do some of those things if that's the agreement. Like she's like, well, I'd like you to have all the money to pay for everything, but I don't even want to like load a dishwasher.
So
I'd like the maid to also do that. You're like, well, then you're offering nothing here.
So he responded back. So he posted this screenshot on Reddit. Commenters were obviously quick to be like, the irony here, she's asking for all this, and yet, as you said, what does she bring to the table? They said, send the list back to her, watch her get mad at you for demanding so much of her. To which the original poster replied, actually, that's exactly what I did. She proceeded to tell me that she makes less than $10,000 a year as a part-time personal trainer. He added, I then invited her to my place for some casual fun and told her to bring wine. She unmatched me, and it was over from there.
I mean, you just know that's not going to work.
He was not serious about it. The article goes on to say, to be fair, she knows what she wants. Confidence, consistency, caviar, maybe, and there's no crime in dreaming big.
Have you?
But
Have you guys heard the Bo? Are you guys familiar with Bo Burnham, the comedian?
Yeah,
I assume.
yeah.
Have you heard his song about like women and like just expectations?
No.
It's really probably. I mean, I don't know if we can play it. I can't remember.
Probably
all the words.
not.
Probably
But
not.
it's just like it's essentially just like you want this like charming, handsome, do everything for your guy, and then he's like, and you probably think that that's not real. And the song is, and it's not. Like you need to lower your expectations. Essentially, like this person.
How long has she been single? Is what
This
I want to know.
person,
on that
borderline,
list.
does not exist. Maybe there's one or three, but like if this is everything, they make $300,000 a year. They're caring and sophisticated and loyal and all this other stuff. No offense, if you're demanding all those things, they're not interested in you.
Right.
The flip side of this is like if they have all the things you're requesting, they're going to meet a more sophisticated person who's not demanding it.
And
they're going
again-
to find a better person for themselves than you.
They also might want someone that's financially stable and doing all these other things, you know?
Well, that also, it's not even all that she wants. Those are the bare minimums, correct?
True. That is true. Yeah, it did say bare minimums.
That's not even what
Yeah, that's just
all
the
that she
starter
wants.
list. That's the starter list. Wait until you actually start going on multiple dates and actually get in a relationship.
I mean, this is not like knows
Someone
what you
says
want.
she can sign a prenup immediately. Someone said. Just for the first date, even.
I mean, I'll just tell you, you probably. I mean, she's making $10,000, you're making $300,000. It's probably just either relationship. Gold, if you're making $10,000 and you start dating somebody who's making $300,000, she should also ask for a prenup. That's too big of a pay discrepancy to not like protect yourself in some capacity. I've never.
You haven't been in that spot where you had to sign a prenup?
No,
Your wife didn't make you?
My wife and I have been together for so long.
You guys didn't sign one, Drew?
No,
you
I
guys
don't
didn't
think
sign
so.
one? No.
I can't get over this text that says sounds like she's just describing big. I can't get over it. I keep on seeing it.
Oh, man. I mean,
I'll just be
what an
honest with you.
outrageous list. And, like, just also wake up. Like, find some dose of reality, please. That's crazy.
Someone said this is why we sleep separately.
Oh, I know who that is texting me.
Oh, yeah?
Shout out. We've met the listener.
Indeed.
Yeah, yeah. How about that? Yeah, that was so great. It turned out they're a much younger couple than I would have thought.
Yeah, no, wait. So sexually disciplined, does that mean that she
I'm
desires
guessing that
sleeping
means not
separately?
stepping out.
No,
She's saying like, hey, we can
Or
know
it's
this
sex
other
when
stuff.
she wants it. And basically, like, it's when she wants it, not when you want it kind of thing. I don't know.
I mean, again,
I don't know.
what is the offer in this situation?
I'm not sure.
Do we know what this individual like?
Looks
I'm
like?
guessing they didn't disclose that, or did they?
They didn't seem to post that
I don't know
in
if
the
he posted
article.
a photo of her or not. I didn't see it. Yeah.
Okay. That's been a little bit of a popular thing. It's not necessarily one individual, but it seems like there's been a lot of recent like, what do you look for in a man, like random like person on the street sort of thing? They go to like a college.
Well, that's
campus,
normal
so they go
stuff.
to a-
I mean,
Well,
we've all been on dates before where that becomes a conversation. Like, hey, what are you looking for in a partner kind of thing? I've had those conversations on dates plenty of times.
Thank
But they're not
God I don't date. That just feels
I've
like
had
it's-
people ask me that
In
question
day
on
one or
dates.
two, that's just so deep.
On the second date, yeah. Like, yeah, but I've had those conversations before. The first date would be a little, but I've had those before. But nobody's crazy like this. It was never like specifically, well, here's my list. Here you go. It was never that.
Sexually disciplined, like stamina? Like maybe there's
I don't
like
think so.
minimum of like, I need this many minutes. I mean, look, the list is crazy enough. I can't rule it out.
She also might be disappointed with that one, too.
No. Discipline's not the right
I need
word.
60 minutes.
It wouldn't be sexual.
Lady, I got nothing.
It wouldn't be sexual discipline. It would be sexual endurance. That would be what she meant if it was stamina related, in my opinion.
What's the most ridiculous thing in a dating situation you've heard from somebody that they're looking for out of a relationship? That you're like, we're immediately incompatible.
So I've told you the bad date stories on the show before. I don't think it was more like the one I told you about the first date about just was never going to work immediately, and it was the shortest date of my life. Once we got to a deeper conversation, what you're describing, it was never anything like crazy, right? You might have a fundamental difference in like things that are, eventually, right, when you get serious enough, you have discussions about like, religion and things like that, and that may just not be compatible, or politics.
Kids or
I'll be
politics.
honest, like more than ever now, one of the issues now, it didn't used to matter. It sucks that it matters now because of how, not to go way off the tangent here, but like
sure.
Now, unfortunately, political leanings when you're dating somebody matter way more. That it wasn't a big deal X amount of years ago, and now it's something that both people involved actually
want similarities in, yes,
or usually, yeah. So stuff like that is made it not awkward, but like it's way more part of the equation than it used to be, unfortunately.
I don't know, man.
There
It's
you
just
go. That's
crazy.
We'll
That will
lump
be
that
the
into the
trash
trash of the day. Yeah, we'll lump that into the trash of the day. Up next, though, let's talk more about adding skill players to the offense around Patrick Mahomes and how often they have done that. Plus, we got another mock draft coming your way.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
If you want your lawn green and healthy this year, start with the big yellow bag of Prevent. Formulated for the Midwest, GrassPads Prevent feeds the lawn and keeps out ugly crabgrass. You simply spread it on the yard right before rain or water it in. Make sure that your lawn is ready for the year with Prevent and stop crabgrass and grassy weeds before they start.
Come on down to the grass pad. The grass pad's high on grass.
If you're like me and you're trying to break through that boring lunch routine, I've got the option for you. I discovered lunch at Hy-Vee Market Grill. Forget the after-lunch fast food coma. The Hy-Vee Market Grill offers fast and fresh options with made-to-order burgers, salads, sandwiches, and wraps like the 3-cheese patty melt, the crispy chicken or Cobb salad, BLT or tenderloin sandwich, and my personal favorite, the peanut butter bacon burger. For high quality and great value, freshen up your lunch routine at the Hy-Vee Market Grill today.
Hop into Hy-Vee for all your Easter needs, like baskets, candy, chocolate bunnies, and more. Treat your family to Easter brunch at the Market Grill. Just $24.99 for adults, $7.99 for children, and kids 5 and under eat free. Staying home? Try Hy-Vee's Easter meal deal for just $30. Get all the fixins you need to feed your ducklings spiral sliced ham, russet potatoes and gravy, green bean casserole, and bakery fresh rolls. Make this your most excellent Easter ever, only at Hy-Vee.
With us is Dr. Christian Hedinger with KCUC, Kansas City Urology Care. What makes KCUC the best?
Hands down, that's our physicians and our experience. We have combined hundreds of years of experience amongst our over 50 providers, radiation oncologists, medical oncologists, and urologists, often practicing under the same roof, who can provide the best integrated care to our patients. We've recruited surgeons from the Mayo Clinic, Harvard, Stanford, UCLA, and many of the other best institutions providing care in kidney, prostate, and bladder cancer. We often can provide our patients care from diagnosis to treatment to labs to scans to medications, all under one roof, all in an office setting as opposed to a hospital. We've assembled all of these physicians that are close to all different parts of Kansas City.
See the experts at Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit kcuc.com.
Hey, it's Cody Tapp, and if you're in the same boat as me, you're looking at someone, you're like, I can't keep living like this. I want to get to my weight loss goal. I want to finally meet those things. Well, I did. 6 weeks, 30 pounds. That's what I did over at Awaken 180's at-home program. I worked with them over the phone. I got online. They got a great app. see what recipes they had available for me, see what things they had to make it easy to do this process with them. I know you want to find out more. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or online at awaken180weightloss.com, and see how with no medications, no gym, and no calorie counting, just the support every week and free support for life. Look, summer's coming up. Maybe it's the pool, maybe it's vacation, maybe you just want more energy to play with your kids or be at those youth sports like I wanted. You can do all of that thanks to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Find out more. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You could think you found your dream home online, but here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 5/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store single line activation on qualifying plan. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, yeah, it is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk a little draft here in a little bit. I'm sure we'll have another mock draft coming our way. And could the NFL be playing games in a spot that we've never seen? I don't think any of the pro leagues in this country ever play, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll get to that in just a bit. You guys can hit us up on the Jay's Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Coming up a little bit later on in the show today. Again, it's a Friday. Hope you guys are having a good start to your weekend. Maybe a long weekend for some folks out there.
Outside.
Yeah, we're going to have rain for like 4 straight days or 1 to 3 inches this weekend, I think, of rain. But in the 1 o'clock hour, we'll have a little fan club Friday. Rob Collins from Fox 4 going to hang out with us. We'll talk draft. We'll talk Royals. We'll talk some golf. Have a couple drinks. We also will have a couple pairs of standing room only tickets for the KC Current game, which is tomorrow night at CPKC Stadium when they take on the Houston Dash. So we'll have some tickets to give away in the 1 o'clock hour. But in the meantime, let's talk a little Chiefs and looking at the position that they have spent draft capital on, specifically the skill positions, since Mahomes got his contract. And have they invested enough in that area? And do we think that that's going to flip this year and in the next year or so? So going back since 2021, basically, Rashee Rice was a second-round pick. They've drafted 3 wide receivers. He was one of them. Worthy, of course, last year was a first-rounder. Sky Moore, a couple years back, was a second-rounder. They've drafted 2 tight ends during this time frame, 4th-rounder and a 5th-rounder. Noah Gray, a 5th-rounder, has already got a second contract, has been a very key piece to this team, got a ton of work last year. And then Jared Wiley, who's a wild card at this point. They liked him. We all know that. But he tore his ACL, and who knows, right? Who knows what you're going to get. And then running back, they drafted 1 post-contract. That's why Clyde's not on the list. And it's Isaiah Pacheco, of course, 7th-round guy. It's obviously been way better than a 7th-round pick. He's been their number 1 running back for multiple years on Super Bowl winning teams.
Yeah, but it's still just a 7th-round pick. The odds of and I'm not saying they didn't get a good pick. It was a good pick. But had you thrown more resources at it, none of us are saying a first-round pick like they did with Clyde before he was paid. I think the resources are a little too low. I think they spent some time building up that defense, and it's a very good defense. It's part of what's led them to multiple Super Bowls over the last couple of years. But you and I both think that there's more than one way to skin a cat, I guess is the phrase. And at this point, it's probably time to see whether or not you run into less problems by being an offensive power going into a Super Bowl than hoping you don't get run out of the building in a couple, which I think has happened where the offense has been a little more limited. I do think they need to spend more resource on this. This year, a running back and at least a wide receiver or a tight end. I don't care which it is, but I want at least half of those top 100 picks to be on the offensive side of the ball. You can let the defense, and you spend a lot of picks over there, try to sort through that at the same time. I will say this is a bit deceiving because they also spent a 3rd training for Tony, a 3rd training for McCole Hardman. Also, I would say, if you went back in time, you'd probably just draft players at those positions rather than give up those assets. But yeah, I don't know if you agree, but I don't think they've done enough for Mahomes in the draft sense yet. No.
Yeah, so I think draft-wise, not as much. They've definitely gone out in free agency, but through the draft, I think you would like to have seen another wide receiver and running back out of that group. I understand why they only drafted 2 tight ends during this stretch, because they still have had Travis Kelce, greatest tight end in NFL history, playing at a very high level, right? And now we might be actually seeing his last year. But it makes sense why they didn't devote resources 3 years ago to that position. There was no reason to believe any more than a 4th or a 5th rounder to devote resources, or last year a 4th rounder. So I'm good there, but I think it's wide receiver and then running back in particular. And this year, it seems like, as we've talked about the first round over and over for the last month plus, pick 31, defensive line or tackle. If they trade up, most people think if they trade up, it's probably for an offensive tackle, maybe a Josh Simmons if he's...
That's the rumor for Matt Miller today.
Yeah. So, okay, well, that's not a skill position player. Doesn't mean it's a bad pick, but it's not a skill position player.
It is trying to improve the offense. It just looks different, yeah.
I think out of this group, if you're wanting big numbers on the skill positions, I don't think we're going to see that this year. I think running back for sure, based on the comments from Brett Veach yesterday, they're definitely drafting a running back, whether it's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, or they don't have a 5th round pick, but 2nd, 3rd, 4th, I don't know, but they're drafting one. I guess they could shock all of us and spend one in the first round. I'm not a fan of that.
I think it would take for Luther Burden, running back, it would take maybe Hampton. I don't think they're going to do that, right, to go in there.
Yeah. I think that the way they would attack skill position this year would be at least 1 running back, a wide receiver in a mid round, and then maybe there's another running back. Or I'm kind of surprised they take a tight end, guys. Are you? I mean, do you think, knowing the tight end room, even if you think
just had to
Kelsey's
be a guy they loved?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's like a must or a can do. I told you I like Loveland, or maybe
he's going to be off the board way too early.
Way too early, but I like him. If we did our Hail Mary for Chiefs draft picks, he'd probably be on the list of guys that I don't think will be in their range, but I certainly wouldn't say no if he were in that list. But even you mentioned, does left tackle count as helping Mahomes in the draft? If we include that, I'll just be honest with you, they haven't done much on that department either since he's been paid. They spent a 2nd on Creed Humphrey and a 6th on Trey Smith. let me go down, a 5th on Kennard. And then the next draft, let's see where we get. No one in that draft, and Kingsley in the 2nd and Norzad in the 5th. They haven't exactly gone gung-ho on finding offensive linemen there either. They have contributed significantly less resources trying to help out Mahomes on offense than they have on defense. And it doesn't, I mean, again.
They've won multiple rings during that
it's
stretch.
It's hard, because
right?
I do think, there's this huge caveat that you and I, anytime we talk about the Chiefs that I think is important, which is they have gone to the Super Bowl 5 of the last 6 years. I'm not here to tell you the process is broken. I'm not trying to tear the whole thing down. And I'm not even saying like what you did in the past is like firm and that's it. I'm just saying like for the next year or two, now that his number has regulated closer to what the other elite quarterbacks are being paid, I'd probably spend some more time on the offensive end of the ball. And, more than I feel like they have. What do you make of the Simmons stuff, by the way? Matt Miller had said in his article today that he thinks if they're trading up, he didn't say Simmons. He said a particular offensive tackle. We all think it's Simmons.
Everybody assumes it's Simmons given the injury and what the overall talent was before the injury. He said to try to trade in front of the Rams as one of the options. And you start looking at, okay, who's that? It's the Vikings or the Packers. And we know the Vikings have been linked as a team that wants to trade down. They only have 4 picks. The Packers one's interesting because if you want to go with the same theory that you had in Kansas City, Cody, is are the Packers going to host the draft and not take a player in the first round? Are they willing to move back to 31? That's still taking a player in the first round if they just swap picks and the Chiefs gave them one of their third-round picks to make it happen. Or do the Packers want to make that pick right there? Who knows, right? So that comes into play. But I think, if they're going to trade up, it sure feels like if they're moving up 7 spots, it's for an offensive tackle. Otherwise, if they traded up, I guess, 2 spots, maybe it's for a different position. I'd be pretty surprised if they traded up to 24 and it was to draft a running back or it was to draft a wide receiver or it was to draft.
That'd be crazy. They traded up for Hampton?
I guess
Talk
maybe
about
a
putting
defensive
pressure on the offense. Woo.
I guess maybe a defensive lineman.
I think Harmon or one of those guys, maybe. I don't think it's out of the question, because that's always the question what these rumors are. Smoke screen or real? Gold, what do you think? Is it that the Chiefs are really trading up for an offensive tackle, or they're trying to make everyone think that, so the defensive tackles or the wide receiver or the running back, whatever the hell they want,
I think they
down to
like Simmons, but I don't believe they're going to trade up to get him.
I honestly,
and I think that's what it would take to get him.
Is anyone? I mean, we're all guessing because the draft is really, particularly this year's, a mess. 10 to 40 is one big, according to every person who really studies this thing, is like a big wash. I think Simmons is going before 20. I think what's happening here is that half of the teams in the league did the exact same thing the Chiefs did and did their medicals. And you cannot convince me, because Simmons is one of 2, I think, offensive tackles that people think really could be a left tackle in the league. And based on everything we know about desperation for left tackle, just based on the Chiefs' most recent free agent run for Jalen Moore and the pursuit of Dan Moore, anyone else, I don't think he's getting past 20. I think he's in the teens, late teens, but I don't even think he's getting past 20. So I don't think they have any chance at Simmons. We'll see, I guess. Maybe he gets. Is it Simmons again in this mock, Drew? Just tell me now.
It is not. It is not.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it's not an Ohio State player, though.
Okay. Well, that narrows it down, actually.
I mean, does Ohio State have 15 guys the Chiefs could take in the first 2 rounds? Because it seems like we've had a lot of Ohio State players.
They did win the national championship. It means they might have had some good players.
Mm-hmm.
Had some talent.
They've had some good wide receivers.
I've seen Ibuka.
It's not a wide receiver, though, even though he's around in that range, actually.
Yeah, he is. He's late first, mid-second.
This is from Josh Edwards over at CBS Sports. His mock is 7 rounds, but we're only going to do 4 for time's sake.
All right.
Okay.
A name that has come up before that you guys hated, actually, is who he has taking.
Oh, no.
Donovan Jackson, interior offensive lineman from Ohio State, bounced out to play left tackle after Simmons got hurt.
Boom!
The interesting part of this, though, so he mentions
taking a guard at 31. No chance. So he's nuts, whoever this guy is.
In his description, he says it is easy to say that signing Jalen Moore to play left tackle and moving Kingsley will work out fine, but that hope is misplaced. The Chiefs may experience a slight improvement at left tackle, but they are set to incur a deep decline at left guard in going from Tooney to Suamontaye.
They played
definitely are
8
gonna
games
get-
last year without Tooney at left guard, and they weren't it wasn't a mess. They went to the Super Bowl.
They definitely are going to downgrade at left guard. We all agree. Joe Tooney's not there. Nobody's arguing that.
He's number one, so it's kind of hard not to
in the
downgrade.
first round, taking a guard is after taking essentially a guy that now you hope is a guard in the second round last year. You're gonna, you know what I mean? Like if you take a guard in the first round, he's 100% starting at left guard. So
Simmons at 33 in this draft, Luther Burden at 36. I can't describe how mad I would be if all of those players were available and they went guard.
If they did that, that means they better become more of a running football team. And that's not going to happen. But if they better become more of a running football team, they should draft a running back with their second pick after taking this guard. It means that they don't, in my opinion, then
Change who they are.
what are you doing with the Trey Smith extension at that point in time if you're going to spend another high pick on a guard? Like all that changes for me.
Yeah.
If you're wondering just what the experts Lance Zierlein say about Donovan Jackson, core power, hip flexion, and hand resets to thwart the bull rush, displays above average hit and stick. Weakness.
Classic hit and stick. Okay.
Wide protection hands. Leave his frame wide open. You don't want that, Cody. And quicker defenders can beat him with quick wins. Well, he's playing guard, so that's not as problematic.
I guess, I'm not saying there aren't quick players in the interior. Chris Jones will probably beat most people, but okay.
Projected,
Seems
first,
fine.
second rounder, and his comp is Wyatt Teller.
Who do they take? White Toe's a good player, but who do they take in the second round? Does it take a running back like Gold said and we change the whole plan?
No, sir. We go to the trenches again. Joshua Farmer, defensive tackle out of Florida State. Interior defensive lineman, of course.
Okay. Again, I like interior defensive lines, so I don't have any particular issue with that overall.
You jump to the third round, pick 66. Not wide receiver, not running back. It is corner.
So they've taken
Noel
a guard and a
Williams.
corner with 3 of the top 66 picks.
Again, I don't think
this feels like some luxury stuff, man.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if they take a corner in the first 3 picks, based on what Brett Veach said yesterday.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Based on what he said yesterday, I could see this happening.
And who do they take with the final pick in the third round?
R.J. Harvey, running back out of UCF. That's in the third round.
I told
you got 3 guys. Cody's got 3 guys now.
Well, I don't want to limit myself to one. There's a lot of good running backs.
And then if you want to jump to the fourth again to go through the fourth round,
they're ranked in appropriate order.
Linebacker Barrett Carter out of Clemson with pick 133 in the fourth round. So they would go guard, defensive tackle, corner.
This is a new mock. This is a new
Drew,
one.
I want you to make me a promise. We got 5 days left of mock drafts, 4 days. Do not ever give me a mock from this guy ever again. I hate it. I don't know if he's. I'm not calling him an idiot. It's hard to say. Drafts are notoriously
Joshua
hard.
Farmer, Bink just texted me, said he mocked Joshua Farmer in the second round of the Chiefs as well.
Notoriously, that's the only pick I like, borderline. Notoriously hard
You don't
to,
like the RJ
to
Harvey
predict.
pick?
No, I'm fine with that in the late fourth.
Joshua
Notoriously
Farmer,
hard.
his story's kind of
He's
crazy.
taking corners and linebackers and guards with 5 of their first 6 picks. I hate it.
The only reason you hate it, I think, is because they take the guard. If they took a corner in the first 3 rounds, and it was let's say they went let's say they went edge and then D tackle, then corner, then running back.
You're
I think
correct.
It's the aggregate, though. It's like it's all
the guard.
together. They're
It's
like
the guard.
ignoring major issues till too late.
It's taking the guard in the first round. For Joshua Farmer in the second round, who Bink also has in the second round as second-round talent. Weakness listed as unable to maintain gap integrity, lacks foot quickness, lethargic to shed and tackle in the gaps. Pros for him, gets off the ball into blocks with good pad level, size and strength to muddy the middle. His story is actually kind of sad. You know how we've joked about like the family connection stuff for college?
The like
this
collegiate
one's
stuff.
like really, really sad that they put in here. I guess his father passed away when he was 2 from internal bleeding after stomach surgery. His mother passed away when he was 11 from a brain aneurysm.
Oh man,
that's crazy,
including this
man.
stuff in the draft profile. Like this is what was it? Was it ESPN a year or two ago?
ESPN, man.
All of a sudden was going
Said
through like
mom
every
was a drug addict.
Yeah, it was going
that
through.
Was nuts. That was wild. Some of the graphics they were putting up for that stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't even like they were just in the reports. They were
just like
on
talking,
screen.
like telling someone's mom was a drug addict and stuff. It was crazy.
wild. Yeah, that's
Lance, be cool,
sad
man.
Stuff on Joshua Farmer, though. Goodness.
Yeah, I'm not against.
Like, why does it list he has 6 older siblings? What's the relevance of that? That the leadership? What are we going for
been
here?
through a lot of stuff.
I told
He's the
you. I
younger
don't
guy.
know what they're doing with some of these profiles.
I get the athletic mention of their parents being athletes. I
have 5 older siblings. Does that make me better at being a radio host or athlete or something? I'm a terrible athlete.
I don't know.
So this is an interesting one. A part of this mock as well. He has Tyler Warren going 22 to the Chargers.
You know, I like Warren.
If he's available
22, you said?
If he's available at 21,
It's
Steelers
the
win,
mock
If he's-
draft. You take a guard out of Ohio State to the Chiefs at 31, and it's hard for us to take the rest seriously. That's
Wait,
all.
where does he have Loveland going? Does he have him going before Warren?
Let's see. If anything, that would follow he actually does. He has Colson Loveland going 14.
Okay. I do retract a previous statement. I do know this guy's an idiot.
Well, hang on a second.
What is
you
this
said that
draft?
Colson Loveland was as good as Tyler Warren.
You're the one that said that. That is true.
But
You
no
did say
one-
that.
I do believe that, but no one thinks he's going ahead of Warren.
But Warren,
Let's
hold on.
use some common sense
Hang
here.
on a second. You said he's as good as Warren, but if we look at previous mock drafts, the disparity is Warren going about 14 to the Colts and Colson Loveland going about 22 to the Chargers. It's been the same. You're just flipping the players.
I agree with his assessment of who's better than the other. I do not agree with his assessment of who is going ahead of another. Those are different conversations. I actually do agree that Loveland is. I believe he will be just as good as a pro as Ty Warren. I could be disproved on this so quick.
This guy's name is Josh Edwards or Jake Edwards?
Josh Edwards. We've done a mock before.
He's
Josh
off the
Edwards.
board. I don't want any more from Josh Edwards. I don't know what this guy's doing.
But Chris Trapasso's okay still? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we like to support his wife's Etsy business if it's still going okay. Okay. Can I get a different? Can I get a second mock draft now? I need a palate cleanser. Do you have a second one just handy? Can I get like a Chris Trapasso or something? Can I get like a?
So we were gonna.
Can you give me a palate cleanser? Play the sounder again and give me a new one.
You know what? If you want to, we can go ahead and do that
In
because
fairness,
I do have a Trapasso one for
Josh
you.
Edwards tweeted out right before this mock draft, submitted my 7-round mock draft. You all are going to hate it. Well, he's right.
Do you really want me to do another? Because this is
Yeah,
Trapasso's
give me a new one.
round.
Give me Chris Trapasso's new
Let's start all
sounder,
over.
palate cleanser.
Trapasso.
Give me our guy Chris Trapasso.
Okay,
you know?
so the part that's going to be funny about this is his mock draft is a what I would do mock. This is a what I would do mock.
So he's
From
not saying this is what he
Trapasso.
thinks would happen. Oh boy, this is going to run into a whole
I
nother
was going to
problem.
say this is going to make it very interesting.
What I would do mock. Oh boy.
First things first, he has Ashton Genty going 20 to the Broncos. Anyways, let's move on to the Chiefs at 31.
Wait, so he would just not. Damn, he's got Jitty down to 20.
I'm just telling you. This
Might not be the palate cleanser I was hoping
This is a
for.
what Trapasso would do mock.
Okay.
Braden Swinson, edge rusher out of LSU, going to the Chiefs at 31.
That's a new name for us.
It is a new name, I believe, for the first round. I think second round he's been mocked before. That was earlier on.
Okay.
Braden Swinson.
Yeah, that is a new name. I like a new name.
I don't think we've
LSU.
discussed Braden on the show before.
He has
Can you give us a scouting report? Cole?
Bradyn. Braden.
He has Tyler
I
Warren.
mean, anybody named 20, there's probably a lot of Bradens.
Braden Swinson. You wanted a quick. So he is projected to be a round 3 to 4 pick. So I don't understand
I was
that.
going to say it's a little bit,
That makes no sense.
based on the mocks, it's a little bit high.
Okay.
Says he basketball stutter steps, can tilt blocker and open an edge, sheds to tackle with active hands, negatives, ducks head and leads with helmet into contact, hasn't created a cohesive outside rush attack, fatigues in his fistfights against bigger players.
You want to know
This mock, what I would do mock is wild if you look at the other
What
picks.
else? What else?
Tyler Warren going 29 to the Commanders.
No chance.
He's got Luther Burden
No
going
chance.
sixth.
No chance.
He's got Luther Burden going 6th overall.
And I get it. He's doing what he would do.
He's
but
got
there's-
Ursery going 13th.
That's
He's
part of
got
why I
Josh
did
Simmons
this.
going 16th. This pick, man, this one's crazy.
No, I forgot.
Well, I
about
sure
this.
hope that
This
Etsy.
one's
I hope
hang
his
on.
wife's Etsy
Hang
shop
on.
is bringing in big time money for
Hang
him,
on, hang
family,
on,
because this
hang
is
on.
not a good
Because if he's in
sign.
the prediction game,
I think Trapasso is banned as well because I saw this on. So this was circling the rounds on social media. Do you see who he has selecting 10th? The Bears selecting
Who?
Jack Beck, wide receiver from TCU.
What?
So that being
What
said,
the heck? Was this just trying to get clicks, mock drafts?
I think it
what
was,
this was?
So I didn't know that this was hit. I did dead
Okay.
serious. Didn't know that this was his. This has been a screenshot of the Bears taking Beck.
Bink
and
just
this mock
texted me. You want me to read
has been-
Bink's tweet or text?
Yes,
I just
yes.
got. Bink,
gonna
I'm
need
reading
Bink's
this.
one
Bink,
as a
I'm
palate
reading
cleanser. Give me
this.
a third one.
Bink, I'm reading this one on air. He won't be mad. He says Trapasso sucks. He wanted to charge me to come on.
Okay, so from now on we are hang on. Going forward,
in fairness, we learned that about Trapasso the last time we tried to book him.
going forward from now on, even into next year, are we not doing CBS mocks because of Josh Edwards and Chris Trapasso, who are the main two guys that come out with mocks?
I mean,
for
this
CBS?
mock draft is truly just like literally clicking on random names.
It's egregiously bad.
I mean,
did
that's
you just like
awful.
get a dartboard of the top 100 PFF ranked guys and just say,
Next Thursday, we're doing a live mock draft on this show. I know that.
He
We're
has a
gonna do
mega
quick
Google
version of
going
it.
after Jack Beck. We're done here.
I'm gonna need. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying. I might need a third.
I
might need a third mock draft. I thought that was gonna be the palate cleanser. I'm not even getting a.
That's awful.
Let's do one when. If you want to do another one, we'll do one when Rob Collins comes.
Okay.
If you want.
I'd rather just honestly, at this point, we might as well just have a listener give us a mock draft today. You know, that's it.
I mean, if they're gonna look like this, I might as well. Yeah, just if you're a listener and you want your mock draft read, get on a PFF simulator in the next 30 minutes and send it over to Drew.
We did do
on
one.
and social media, and we'll choose that over the current CBS ones we're getting.
Take a screenshot and then DM me or Alex or Cody, and we'll use it.
Why not over on Twitch? Says he'll send one over. Let's just fine. The Twitch mock. Send me over a mock. Because these last two, this is someone said this does not cleanse my palate. It feels like just putting another pile of poop.
This is effectively worse.
We're running out of time, but I wanted to real quick. You guys see the update? The NFL is considering playing games in the Middle East. You see this?
It's kind of crazy. I mean, obviously, Live and some of these other
Dubai, Abu Dhabi have been brought up. We know they're playing everywhere else. I think the Commanders and the Rams already have marketing rights to Qatar. I think it is. So look, I guess we'd be naive almost to think that one day that's not going to happen. This was always.
I just didn't think the NFL would go, the money is green so fast. Because let's be clear, that's the only reason why. You're not interested in growing that market. Typically, the way it's working with other sports leagues is that it's just not taking the check.
No, but they are trying to. I mean, both, right? They want the check, but why wouldn't they want to grow the market there? I mean, it's both. They already had literally marketing agreements with the Commanders, with the Rams, and one other franchise I forget that has the rights. Just like the Chiefs have the rights to Spain and Germany, Ireland, and a few others. That there's a few teams that have the rights to that. Obviously, plenty of money in some of those countries too.
The NFL is becoming Formula One. They go to Brazil, F1 goes to Brazil. They go to Mexico City, F1's in Mexico City.
They've already said they'll be in the Pacific area and Australia. Australia is already in the docket, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
For the NFL. Maybe they are you might be right. They might just be following the exact F1 model as far as the countries in which they're trying to be in. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised to see the Chiefs there. If they go there, the Chiefs might be the first game there. Clark Hunt has already agreed essentially to be the guinea pig for the overseas stuff. He has always been a big proponent
one of those three
it.
teams that already have the marketing agreement.
We'll go first.
Would be the host team, the home team. The question is, what's the schedule?
You said Commanders, right?
They are one of them. Yeah.
Jane Daniels, Mahomes. I like that.
Yeah, again, this is something that might be a couple years away, but yeah, it could work.
I mean, the NFL is trying to supercharge their growth. I'll say that. They have decided that they want to be a worldwide sport, and the only way to do that is to put themselves in every country in the world. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but
trying to find new
this
revenue
is also why they're trying
to
push everybody to 18 games and everything else. What's funny about the revenue stream stuff is always funny is the NFL already prints money.
Yeah, but no business operates and says, "Well, we've printed enough money. No more. No reason to expand." I mean, that's just business. So I have no problem with that. Just because you have a business that is making good money doesn't mean you're not trying to go make more money. So anyway, we'll see what happens over the next year or so. Up next, we will get to what's trending here on Cody and Gold and talk more about the Royals, the offensive struggles in a different way even last night.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Hey, baseball fans, there's no better place to bet the long ball than BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Swing big on your home run bet with BetMGM's Home Run Boost token. No opt-in is required. Just log in to your BetMGM account to receive your Home Run Boost token. Then activate your token when you place a bet on any player to hit a home run. If that player goes yard, you'll score a bigger payout. No matter the showdown, BetMGM is the best place to bet the long ball. Don't miss your chance to claim your MLB Home Run Boost token. The action is on deck at BetMGM, the king of the big swing. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Kansas City, it's time to laugh out loud at Big Slick 2025. Enjoy a night of comedy, music, and shenanigans at the Big Slick Show on May 31st at T-Mobile Center, with all proceeds benefiting Children's Mercy. Will there be shouting? Definitely. Screaming? Yes. Jackhammering? No. But I like the enthusiasm. Tickets are on sale now at bigslickkc.org. Peace and quiet are not invited, but you are. Librarians are also invited, but no shushing, please.
GiveMeTheVin.com wants to buy your car, whether it's your daily driver, pickup, SUV, exotic, or classic. Now we're even better with the GiveMeTheVin.com Big Cash Giveaway. Win $25,000 in cash every month to sell us your car to increase your odds of winning. No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
When I started watching my favorite team as almost Andy Reid, I couldn't get out of the parking lot due to my new popularity. Renner Garage Door has an offer that's just as popular. $100 maintenance check to keep your door running smooth. Get a free replacement quote. Renner carries top brands like Deldon, Amar, and LiftMaster. Family owned since 1956. Call or visit rennerdoor.com. Renner forward and back.
RENNER. Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexspicekc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Spies KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You could think you found your dream home online, but here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling Grandma for her recipe? No-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m.? Big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas? The ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. Straight Talk. Real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 5/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store single line activation on qualifying plan. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans, and this is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Royals baseball.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
What's Trending is presented by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Applied today at bakeru.edu. Number one is, well, the Royals unfortunately have lost 4 in a row as they get set to take on the Tigers tonight. They lost 6-1 last night. This evening, good news pitching-wise, even though that's not been the problem, is, well, Cole Reagans is on the mound, 2.28 ERA. Kansas City still struggling to get the offense going. We're going to talk more about that, including some other metrics to go along with it. But it's a 5:40 pitch. Vern's On Deck show is at 4:30 this afternoon, right here on 96.5 The Fan. Jackson Jobe, I believe, is the pitcher for the Tigers tonight. Right?
I'll give you some stats on why Cole Reagans has been so good in that spot. Ian Kraft, who works over the Royals, sent those out not that long ago, so we'll find out whether or not that makes you feel maybe a little bit better. Plus, I got a question I want to ask you, at least on something I think that's coming up because fans' unhappiness as it relates to the Royals right now is obviously they're not playing very good offensive baseball and losing. Next up on What's Trending, there's some rumors, including that from Matt Miller, draft expert over at ESPN, saying the Chiefs are looking to maybe trade up for a particular left tackle in the NFL draft 5 days from now. We'll see whether or not that comes to fruition. We'll talk more about that later in the show with Rob Collins. But rumors swirling. Chiefs may want to trade up. They do like to trade up more than most teams, let's admit. And in a year where seemingly every team wants to trade down, might be a little easier than normal, Gold. Maybe the price tag's a little bit less. Maybe the trade chart makes it look slightly more appealing. What do you think?
It's a chance. There's a chance of that. I still will be curious to see next week if we get some more rumors that involve trades. We're going to talk about it in a second. It's been very quiet on the trade for not just with the Chiefs, like in the entire NFL right now, but we're inside of a week of the draft, so that could change. Elsewhere, What's Trending? A couple updates on soccer MLS action tomorrow. Sporting Kansas City taking on San Jose. The KC Current at home at CPKC Stadium tomorrow against the Houston Dash, a little after 6 o'clock. So when that one's going to start. In the 1 o'clock hour today, we will have 4 2-packs of SRO tickets to give away. So be listening in the 1 o'clock hour if you want some tickets to go see the KC Current, who are undefeated, playing some great soccer to start the season.
I mean, nice to be undefeated. Sporting still obviously struggling a little bit, but at least one of the soccer clubs in town is dominating. And certainly KC Current, one of the 2 best teams in the league, pretty obviously. The Orlando Pride being the other undefeated team. They don't play each other till August. I looked it up the other day. I was excited about the possibility. I'm like, ooh, man, I hope they play each other in a couple of weeks. They did not. Lastly, on What's Trending, don't forget our Cody Gold road trip coming up on Saturday, May 3rd. We're heading down to Springfield to watch our guy, Kags, who is on a bit of a slump. But that's okay. That means he's more likely to be in AA based on what we've been offering. $10 tickets at 965thefan.com. You can purchase those right through the website there in Springfield, Missouri. If you're interested in matching us in some of the shirts, those are available via separate links. So if you've already ordered your tickets but need the link for the T-shirts, text it 913-586-7965. If you haven't purchased those and you're looking at the tickets, just let us know. Those shirts, I think we pointed this out, Gold, of the people going down there. Not promising that there won't be a shirt down the road that you may be available for purchase, but the Kags shirt in the royal blue and the royal cursive font, we're doing those right now for the people who are going to come down there and join us. So if you need us, let them know. We already have, including us, 95 people going on this road trip. I'm now shooting for let's see if we can get 150. It's going to be a great time down there. We're going to meet at Harbell's beforehand. I imagine we will find a local watering hole, as I said, afterward. Have a great time at the game. Hope as many of you can make it as possible. Make it a day trip if you want, right? You don't have to stay the night like we are, but make it a day trip.
Yeah, it'll be a ton of fun. Hope to see a lot of you. We already know we're going to see a lot of you. Hope to see even more of you. Join us in Springfield. We're also about 50 minutes away from a Fan Club Friday here on 96.5. The Fan, Rob Collins, sports director over at Fox 4, going to join us in studio. We'll have to catch up with him. It's been a bit since we had him in studio. We'll talk NFL draft. We'll talk some Royals baseball. We'll also get into some golf. His thoughts on Drew's Korn Ferry Tour qualifier that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
See what he thinks he'd shoot at Augusta.
And yesterday when we were joking with Nate Taylor, we're going to talk chips, and so we'll do fun discussion around chips in the draft. We'll explain that in more detail coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. But let's talk about this Royals team. 10 left on base yesterday. 10 left on base, 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. So, yes, it's the offense again, but it was a different way. They actually got some guys on base, but they never could get them home. I told you the most frustrating moment of the game last night, and I'm sure a lot of you would agree. Bases loaded, 1 out, Drew Waters with just an abysmal plate appearance. Then Kyle Isbell, first pitch swings, pops it up. And we had Jake Eisenberg on the show earlier, and he mentioned how they're putting the ball in play. They're not, the strikeout numbers across the first 20 have not been terrible. The problem is their pop-up percentage, right, is higher than just about anybody in baseball right now. And so it's a lot of pop-ups. You're not even getting a chance at sac flies or anything like that, and that's why you get 10 left on base, and you're 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. And now it sets up the rest of the weekend. We said that at bare minimum, you had a split. At bare minimum. Not that you'd feel great, but
now it's really hard. You got to win 2 out of the next 3.
2 out of the next 3, and it almost feels like tonight and tomorrow because not that baseball can't baseball, but one of the best pitchers, and certainly the Cy Young Award winner last year for the Detroit Tigers, is pitching against you on Sunday. So it feels like tonight and tomorrow.
Look, Cole Reagans, and I give credit to Ian Kraft, they're now on a 4-game losing streak. After a loss, Cole Reagans for the Royals is 9-5 with a 2.19 ERA. So I feel pretty good about that. 17 quality starts in 26 games following a Royals loss. He's had to pitch a few of those overall. So my hope is that he is able to do that. But I can't come in here and tell you to feel good about it. I'll say, Gold, that for the most part, yesterday was better than it was before. I know that sounds stupid, but before they weren't even getting guys on base. At least in the hypothetical scenario last night, there were people to leave stranded. Before they weren't even doing that. So if you just want to be slightly Mr. Positive, at least that's some version of it. Here's what I'm going to ask, because I think what happens right now is I don't want everyone to just turn fully negative and just turn on the team. I don't think that's helpful. And I also think it's too early to do that, even though they are clearly in a slump. And I think part of that is it's hard because we all knew they did not get enough offense in the offseason. They did not resolve corner outfield, which we all called their biggest glaring weakness going into the season. And now it's looking bleak. Well, let me ask you a question, because people are down on Jonathan India right now because he's off to a bad start. If you could reverse the trade right now, would you? So if you could just say, give me Brady Singer back. They'll let you do it right now. Mm-hmm. Hand to God, trade you right now, straight up. Jonathan India and Brady Singer, flip him back. Would you do it? Because I'm about to say I wouldn't.
No, absolutely not. No, because starting pitching has not been the issue. Chris Bubich has pitched very well, and he's in that exact spot that Brady Singer occupied. Now, Brady Singer's off to a nice start with Cincinnati. This is not about what he's doing. But if you think the offense is the issue, and it obviously is, reversing the trade would not put you in a better spot. Now, if you want to argue that they should have packaged Brady and another player to go get a different bat, well, we can always go through hypothetical situations, right? We've talked about it. We know the Royals looked at other names. I looked at Anthony Santander. Not only did the Blue Jays give him 2 extra years for some reason, but it's not exactly. I know he's hitting better than what they've had, but he's hitting 217, so it's not exactly like he's lighting the world on fire. Profar got PED'd.
The guys that could have gone outside would not have been better.
But I don't believe, Jonathan India has not looked like the player we thought they were acquiring. 20 games into the season, reversing the trade would not make this offense any better and make it worse. Yes, believe it or not, worse than what they are. And there's one spot worse.
But wait, he's hitting
there's
190.
One spot worse.
Well, I mean, they get when 70% of your lineup's hitting sub 205. Yeah.
But right now, I get why people
worse.
are looking at the offseason plan and saying, right now, it looks like it's going to backfire on them. Now, I can't say it enough. It's 20 games into the season, but that can only be said for, another couple weeks? another 3 weeks. After that, it becomes a little bit more of reality. Right now, it is a 20-game sample size. When that thing becomes 40 or more, then it's going to be very difficult to not say that is who they are.
Yeah, once we reach the quarter pole, I want to get to the first full month.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like, I mean, I'd like to get through April before I make my definitive things. Look, I don't have any disillusion about who they were. You and I both agreed that part of the reason they went after India was that they didn't have enough guys who got on base. I also think that that's what makes their slumps worse. The fact that a huge chunk of their lineup has never been particularly good at getting on base probably makes the slumps harder because people aren't on there. You can't even get a bloop single. You can't find a way to manufacture runs. And right now, it is Bobby Witt Jr.'s back must hurt. I mean, it must be sore from trying to carry the entirety of the offense because his numbers are so good and nobody else is hitting.
His job's 100 times harder right now because if you're pitching, if you're the Tigers tonight and you're Job and you're pitching against the Royals, you're not giving Bobby anything. Nobody's getting on base in front of him, and you're not worried about what you're getting behind him from Vinny and Salvi right now. So you're not getting anything. Your job is much tougher at the plate right now if you're Bobby Witt Jr.
Can I say that I've seen this is another one I've seen, and like this is one I don't think of like I'm not gonna be like, I can't believe you'd even think this. I just don't disagree with this. I just disagree with the sentiment. I've seen some people say, hey, the India problem is because he's not playing second base. He's out of his natural position, therefore uncomfortable, and he's not playing his typical position. He's still getting on base at 303, even though he's hitting 185. So his walk rate is actually where it should be. He's just not getting hits. I got to be honest, man. He played third all in college. I know he's playing some left field too. I just don't think that's it.
It's definitely.
I think he's just not
theory.
hitting.
It's
I
definitely
don't think that that's the issue for why he's not hitting. I could be wrong on that, admittedly, but like I guess that's not my concern. I don't think if they just switch him to second, he'd be fine.
Yeah, it's a theory, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think you or I definitively can say it's not part of it or it is part of it. I would be surprised that that's the biggest reason why he hasn't got hits. Like I don't think that's the biggest reason. And the fix wouldn't be if you told me that he would have started at second base on opening day since would Jonathan India be hitting way better. I think that's grasping at straws because look, we're all looking for answers right now because the offense has been abysmal. So I get it. So when whether it's the NFL, whether it's right now with the Royals and Major League Baseball, when you have a team underperforming offensively and one of the worst offenses in baseball, you're going to throw out everything and just try to figure out what the hell's going on from a fan perspective. And that's where we're at.
From just like a throw out a random lineup situation, but for the most part,
I mean, last night's lineup didn't have Melendez or Renfroe in it. For those of you that obviously want them out of the lineup, they didn't. That was based on the current roster. That was probably your lineup you wanted.
My problem is that I want Canna called back up, and I want a different outfielder that's not a bases stealing guy. I don't want Tolbert or Blanco.
I think both will happen.
I want a guy who will play so when I take MJ Melendez or Renfroe out of the lineup, which I think they got to do a lot more often, that there's a person who is a qualified outfielder who might run into a hit.
Yeah, my guess is this weekend, tomorrow, potentially as early as that. Yeah, Cannon gets up, Waters goes down, Tolbert goes down, and hopefully they bring up John Rave. But let's be clear, John Rave's not some savior. Okay.
No, you hope to get replacement level play out of him.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be the truth? Dude, I'd kill for some replacement level play right now.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yes. But again, at the hands of sending down Tolbert or Waters, not at go ahead and go ahead and be done with both your starting left and starting right fielder from 20 days ago or from 20 games ago.
I will say the plan of, we went for the Estevez guy. We didn't go for the corner outfielder.
Yeah, doesn't look.
You
should
should
have
paid for an outfielder. Let's just be honest. You should have traded for an outfielder, paid for one. I think it's fairly safe to say now, even 3 weeks into the season, you do not have enough in the outfield. The Renfroe, Isbell, Melendez plan was one that was it's backfiring. It's backfiring in a big way for the most part. And I think I don't even think that's up for debate anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty clear 20 games into the 2025 season. We mentioned trade rumors out there in the NFL. Matt Miller at ESPN said that the rumor he's hearing is that the Chiefs would be interested in trading in front of the Rams. And you start looking at where that puts them. It's that 24 spot with the Vikings that's been rumored for about a week now. It's potentially the Packers slot, which is right around there as well. The Packers are the host of the draft, and so they could move back to 31 and still pick in the first round. But we had that whole scenario in 2023 here where it's like, hey, it's a home team that not want that stage on opening night. Silly as it sounds, there's owners and they're a different ownership situation in Green Bay. It's not the same as every other team in the league. But are we going to get a trade in the first round before the draft? on draft night, we're going to get a trade. Like, it's a given. There will be, I can promise you, a trade during the first round.
Yeah.
The question is, are we going to get the pre-first round trade? And the way for that normally to happen is if you have a team that really wants to move up multiple spots for a quarterback, and there's clearly a lot of indecisiveness from
and unknowns like Rodgers,
the Giants and the Saints on what they want to do maybe at quarterback, and that's why I think we might have to wait till the night of the draft when we're at the Landing in Liberty next Thursday.
Is there a chance that like we're about to have one of the wildest first rounds of trades ever? Because this is the latest ever that there haven't been a first round trade in a really long time. We are 5 days away from the NFL, 6 days away from the NFL draft, and there has not been all 32 teams, Gold, possess a first round pick. Do you know how crazy that is? Normally by now the Chiefs trade one away for Orlando Brown Jr. Who cares, man? I mean, just like you traded one away 2 years ago or, like however it works out. The idea that everyone still possesses a pick is crazy. So like I'm either figuring nobody did this because of what we talked about, the depth of the draft.
It's starter draft, not a star
Yeah,
draft.
nobody wants to trade into the top 7 where typically you start making some of those moves because it's not a good year. Here's the truth. It's not a good year to be in the top 10. It's a fine year to be at 31. It's a fine year to be at 25. You're not getting some significant drop-off in talent from 15 to 41, according to all the draft experts. Hell, Brett Veach pretty much said as much. So, like, so it's either going to be like everyone's trading because, like, they just decide on their guy, the guy that they're convinced should be a first-round pick, even though everyone else puts him in the wash, or we're about to have the least exciting trade draft ever, and everyone just sits at their pick and makes them. I guess, which way do you guys think it's going to go at this point? My guess is that maybe it's just boring. Like, there's no quarterbacks worthy of, like, making crazy stuff for it. I think it's going to be kind of a boring as far as trade goes.
I was going to say, does that make it boring, though? But I think that I'm leaning more towards you for sure, Cody, because it's who are you trading up for unless for some reason you are super duper high on Luther Burden more than anybody else in the mock. Thinks he's going to go. Again, we had Matt Miller on. He thinks he's going to be the best wide receiver in the class, I think is what he said, or he ranks him as the best wide receiver in the class. He thinks he's the number one
wide receiver in the class.
So, I mean, does somebody jump the gun because they like that, or does Simmons fall a little bit so much so the Chiefs or somebody else who really needs a tackle takes him? I think we're more in for maybe a surprise pick than we are a trade.
Yeah, like somebody that you're like,
well,
we're always him.
I think we're always in store more for a surprise pick than a trade. I mean, the surprise picks the reason why we categorize them surprises only because of the mock draft experts tell us it's a surprise. I mean, let's be real. Like, it's funny how we all view that. We're like, oh, it's a surprise. It's a surprise because every mock draft expert was wrong. Was it a surprise to the teams?
I mean,
I always wonder that.
I mean, I'm talking like Loveland goes ahead of Warren, or Genty gets taken after Amari and Hampton, or something along those lines, or somebody takes a quarterback that we weren't expecting to take a quarterback in the first round anyways, and you're kind of dumbfounded by it. I think that
the quarterbacks are going to be the tough spot to fit. Is that just like knowing where Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Show I've seen, I guess. Is that how his name's pronounced?
Show, yes.
Show, I thought so. I care less about the quarterbacks in the draft, honestly, because I know the Chiefs are never going to take him. So I'm not going to do a bunch of research on Tyler Show other than he's 47 years old. He's probably got a wife and 7 kids.
I also don't buy...
I don't like the old quarterbacks in the draft, in case you guys didn't know. Ageism.
I don't buy him being better than Quinn Ewers, I'll be honest.
Okay. There's some people who really like him, man.
There was one throw in the combine. I don't know what the hell he was doing. There's also some plays in college where you're just like you see plays that he made at Louisville or even at Texas Tech, and you're like, yes, that's the guy that could be really good. But then you see other plays, you're like, what in the world was that guy thinking?
I mean,
I think it's hard to,
Yeah, I think we'll still have trades. Once we get closer, there'll be over-under trades will be set. And so you'll actually be able to bet on it too when we get closer to the draft. That there will be trades, but yeah, I don't think this will go down as the most trades in the last decade or something like that. But the reason why we don't have them before, I think, is just the quarterback situations.
Normally somebody seeing. And there aren't. I guess I don't know. Does it feel like an unusually low year for teams who need a quarterback for you guys too?
Yes.
Like there's only like 3 or 4 that I'm like have to do it. Like, better do something at quarterback.
Who would those
and
be?
one of those would be eliminated if the Steelers signed Aaron Rodgers.
So Titans
have to.
Giants kind of already have a quarterback situation.
Giants don't
so
have
they're
to.
Fine.
I wouldn't say it's a bad idea, but they don't have to.
Jets don't have to.
Don't have to. Browns have to, in my opinion. Take somebody.
So that's 3.
That's it, I think.
Saints with Derek Carr's situation?
Okay.
I think
my
they will.
team. I'm team burn it down for the Saints, so they'd probably be off my list. So
3 or 4 teams.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel pressured if I were the Saints. Like if you take one to the 3rd, whatever. But
it's a bad year to be a quarterback too, coming out of the draft, because teams for that same reason, Cody, don't necessarily need one. Like even if you're.
But here's the thing: if it was a great year for quarterbacks, I think those teams would have just made different decisions. I think that the Giants would have never wasted their time doing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. If it was a loaded quarterback draft, they'd have just stuck at 3 and taken their dude, or trading up to 2 and taking their dude.
Well, that was also why Quinn Ewers declaring. We were when it first happened. We're like, man, I don't know if you should do that. Like, take your money. He's going to get picked in the 3rd round. He can make more money in NIL.
Correct.
Somewhere, even if it wasn't at Texas.
Him and Milroe both.
He could have
He
gone.
could go be the Tennessee quarterback right now for more money.
Exactly. Even if it wasn't at Texas, him or Milroe could have gone somewhere else. Still made more money than where they're likely what they're going to make at the spot that they're selected in, which is like 2nd or 3rd round.
I agree. Yeah, same thing applies with Jalen Milroe. You know, unless you're going to be a top 20 pick or something like that. If you're a mid-round pick, you're going to be on the bench for a couple years in the NFL, not making much money, and you could have stuck around one more year in college and made $1.5–2 million.
That's something that Veach mentioned too. Is NIL is changing the way, not that they're drafting, but it's changing how the draft is in terms of youth. You're getting guys that are more experienced, who are older, maybe more ready to play, less projects. NIL is changing things up a little bit in regards to the player output, if you will, in the draft.
I just saw this quote come out, and this is a real quote from Rob Manfred. And you know, I've been pretty good about
Rob Manfred.
I've been pretty good about not being overly critical of Rob Manfred, but this is an egregious statement of people attending your game. All right, so there's a New York Times piece, or an LA Times piece, sorry. People complaining Dodgers prices are too high. Like, hey man, you're pricing out the regular fan. We can't go watch our team. We've heard this before. Rob Manfred, when asked if local fans consider the Dodgers prices too high, suggested there were cost-effective alternatives to enjoying the Dodgers. Quote, one of the leading in terms of thinking about affordability has always been the other Los Angeles team, says Manfred. His suggestion for affording a Dodgers ticket is just go watch the Angels?
Yo, what if I don't like them? What if I don't like the Angels? That's crazy.
Wild. Sorry you can't go to the Dodgers game. Go watch the other bad team is quite the suggestion. That's not even how fandom works in his sport. What do you think, man? Hey, Gold, if you think the Royals tickets are getting too pricey, go check out, I mean, in our case, go check out the Springfield Cardinals. Like, could you imagine telling a Cardinals fan, just go check out the Royals, or a Royals fan, go check out the Cardinals if you fear your prices have gotten too high locally? I understand it's in the same market.
Is that a real quote?
I'm looking at the article on the LA Times website.
It's a real quote that he gave?
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
It is a quote from the LA Times, a real newspaper.
It's hard to use the NFL example because the Chargers and Rams are both pretty solid. They're both pretty good, and the New York teams both stink. But essentially, it'd be like, hey, when the Jets had Mark Sanchez and the Giants, or when the Giants were good and the Jets stunk, you know, if you're mad at the Giants tickets being high, go watch the Jets play.
Now, I do think Rob Manfred has a point in, I'm reading more of the article, in one point where he said, look, if it was truly not affordable, then we would start seeing ticket sales in that same market decline, and they're not. So in fact, people don't want to hear that, but like,
if not affordable for everyone, he's saying there's a demand, supply demand.
But if people are buying the tickets, then what? I mean, it is what it is. This is kind of the reality of the situation. Now, if the tickets are outrageously priced and nobody's going, then they're not affordable.
Well, that might be
they're not overpriced. I should say. That mean they're not affordable for everybody. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's not a supply demand issue. They're obviously good there. I'm saying like there is a part of sports, and like this happens with the Chiefs and a lot of other people too. It stinks when the affordability is just completely lost on anybody. Like, you can't even, like, make it I'm going to save up this one time this 1 year and go to a game, and I can't even afford it. You know? Like, when you start getting to that price point, I do think it kind of stinks. Not secondary market or anything in between. Can I not plan out and buy a ticket through your website a year in advance and be able to afford it? Not even like the secondary market where you and I know the prices can get like kind of ludicrous when the tickets get.
Look, and I haven't got on the Dodgers. I don't know pick a random day. I have no idea what it costs to go to a Dodgers game. Like if you were to go and just pick a random Dodgers game, what's the cheapest price at the end of the? Remember, it's LA, so everything's going to be higher than it is in Kansas City. We just know that. Like they're playing the Marlins, which would be like one of the
that is legitimately maybe the cheapest ticket you can get.
And it's this is a Tuesday night. Let me pull it up. It's a Tuesday
night against the Marlins?
Marlins in
Not
a couple
getting any cheaper
weeks
than that.
at Dodger Stadium. 2 tickets just to get in the door. Let's see. What's your guys' guess? What do you think it runs? I'm not talking about good seats, necessarily, just to get in the door.
80? I mean, now that he's talking about affordability.
I don't think it's 80. I don't think.
Total?
I was just questioning.
Per ticket.
He's talking affordability.
2 tickets
I didn't
per
know how
ticket.
bad it was.
Here we go.
65.
2 tickets section. Let's just get
with no seats.
Kick me back. Come on.
No, real seats.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about SRO. I'm talking about actual seats. Let's see. Oh, those are the most expensive. When we get to the. It looks like they start at 45.
Okay.
From what I can see.
For the worst ticket in the place,
available to you. I mean, there's some that are they sell. They have way more season ticket holders, so there's not as many everyday tickets. But this is upstairs. Upstairs down the third base line, 2 tickets. Let's just click, $47.60 a piece.
Plus fees, plus parking. I mean, it's a.
Well, that's just. I mean, some of this is just the reality of it.
I
didn't realize.
I didn't realize either. Sorry, I got down a rabbit hole. My bad.
All right, up next, we'll get to the random question of the day, and then we'll discuss where things stand for yardage projections with 2 wide receivers on the Chiefs.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain clearing special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
If you're like me and you're trying to break through that boring lunch routine, I've got the option for you. I discovered lunch at Hy-Vee Market Grill. Forget the after-lunch fast food coma. The Hy-Vee Market Grill offers fast and fresh options with made-to-order burgers, salads, sandwiches, and wraps like the 3-cheese patty melt, the crispy chicken or Cobb salad, BLT or tenderloin sandwich, and my personal favorite, the peanut butter bacon burger. For high quality and great value, freshen up your lunch routine at the Hy-Vee Market Grill today.
Hop into Hy-Vee for all your Easter needs, like baskets, candy, chocolate bunnies, and more. Treat your family to Easter brunch at the Market Grill. Just $24.99 for adults, $7.99 for children, and kids 5 and under eat free. Staying home? Try Hy-Vee's Easter meal deal for just $30. Get all the fixins you need to feed your duckling spiral sliced ham, russet potatoes and gravy, green bean casserole, and bakery fresh rolls. Make this your most excellent Easter ever, only at Hy-Vee.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. All right, let's talk about sex. Whether you're dealing with erectile dysfunction or you simply want to have a little bit more confidence in the bedroom, look to Blue Chew. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and Blue Chew is that secret weapon for the bedroom or wherever you decide to get it on. Turn oh no into oh yes with Blue Chew. You know, pro athletes train every single day. We got the NHL and NBA playoffs coming up. Those athletes are in peak condition and in peak form so that they can perform with confidence. What if you didn't have to train or anything like that to be able to perform at the highest level? That's where Blue Chew comes in. They're an online prescription service, no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. It ships right to your door in a discreet package, and their licensed medical providers work with you individually to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. If you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit BlueChew.com, where we have a great offer for you there. Get your first month free when you use our promo code KFNZ at checkout and just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code KFNZ to receive your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
Hey guys, it's Cody Tapp, and I want to keep telling you about my progress over at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. I've lost 30 pounds, which was my goal, thanks to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Look, maybe you got the pool, vacations, life got busy on you. It did for me. I wanted to make a change so I had more energy for my kids, so that the superbone foot didn't hurt anymore. And I'm feeling so much better. The pressure off my knees, and I've had 3 surgeries, so I needed that. And everything else in between has made me feel so much better over at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. 6 weeks, 30 pounds. That's what I did, and you can do as well. I did it with no medications, no extra working out, no calorie counting, just the help with the people over at the Awaken 180 at-home program. At home, meaning you don't have to leave your house in order to talk to Awaken 180. Make sure your summer is everything you want it to be and give them a call. 844-346-1800 or find out even more online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Men, here's the truth. In the bedroom, good enough isn't really good enough, is it? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if your erectile dysfunction is making intimacy less enjoyable for you and your partner, give us a call today. Because whether your ED only happens sometimes or all the time, it's time to stop good enough and time to start really good. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. Whether it's only mild or moderate, or even if it's severe, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we have a variety of treatments and can even combine protocols, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in a long time. You could even last up to an hour or more and make sex great again for you and your partner. So make an appointment and be done with good enough. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices to serve you.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
It's time to find out who was in the zone. Presented by AutoZone. As the baseball season is underway, we look to the West Coast, where Los Angeles has gotten off to an incredible start. In their first 2 series, they were able to sweep both Chicago and Detroit, and followed that up with head-to-head series with 2 of the title contenders in Atlanta and Philadelphia. Los Angeles will hope to continue their great form into the season with a group of superstar talent. In the Zone is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The price of gold could surge in 2025. A large bank analyst is calling it the ultimate perceived safe haven asset. That's why thousands of hardworking Americans are getting help safeguarding their money and saving with precious metals like gold and silver. Call 855-838-GOLD to learn about the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. They're going to give you a free gold and silver kit. Plus, you can also get up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver on qualified orders. Call Goldco at 855-838-GOLD. That's 855-838-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Here's Comedians and Sketchers Getting Comfortable, presented by Hands-Free Skechers Slip-Ins.
Hey, I'm Bobby Slayton, and I'm here with my pal, comedian, and Skechers ambassador, Mr. Howie Mandel.
Why did it take so long to invent something as amazing as slip-ins? I know it seems simple, but it took Skechers to invent a better pair of shoes.
Yep, with Skechers Slip-Ins, you just step it and go. You don't have to touch your shoes. And by the way, Slip-Ins are for the whole family, men, women, and kids, in all your favorite Skechers styles. Find Skechers Slip-Ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Back here on Cody and Gold, time to our guy C-Dot a little bit about the Royals. He's coming up after us at 2 o'clock. We're about 25 minutes away from Fan Club Friday. Rob Collins, Fox 4, stopping by. We're having the same frustrating conversation that we've been having on the show, that you guys have been having, I'm sure, with your buddies about the Royals offense. What we would do. Everybody's on 2 different sides. Side of, hey, it's 20 games in, deep breaths, The other side is, no, they're screwed already. It's over. There's different factions of the fan base. This is how fans fan.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
And look, it's okay. I told you, the Tiger series was a real barometer for me. Go 2-2, and I'm about neutral where I was. Win 3 out of 4, I'm feeling really good. Win 4 out of 4, it's already dead. I'm like right back in, and then lose all 4, and I will join you in the panic.
Well, especially when the Rockies.
I will join you in the panic
Rockies,
Monday morning if you get swept by the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, and take it a step further too, Cody. I mean, even if it's not at that point, if the Rockies were to come into Kaufman early next week, and you still can't get anything going against that team, then yeah.
If you need I was going to say if you need a baseball palate cleanser, you can go watch the team in Arkansas. I don't know what the record is. Is it better?
I don't think that's going to do what you think it's going to do.
Is that what Rob Manfred would say?
Go watch.
Fans,
hey, at least you're still watching a team in the same organization,
Sure,
you know?
Sure.
No.
It's got to count for something. We got 100 people coming down to Springfield to watch Caglione play. He's cooled off, but I can feel it. Hot streak's coming for Cag starting tonight. And the Royals, right? I'm just going to bet the Royals on the money line tonight. Put some cash on it.
Oh, yeah?
You guys want to bet like $100 of show money on the Royals to win tonight?
I'm good.
I don't think so.
Come on! What? They gotta be plus money right now based on the way they're playing. Even Cole Reagan's on the mound.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I'd rather bet Cole Reagan's strikeout total than bet the Royals to win.
Yeah, that thing's been inflated now quite a bit.
Funny enough, I think I'd rather bet the Royals to win. I'm getting better money.
Yeah, but okay.
You're just saying the strikeout total's more likely.
Yes.
I am.
The Royals are actually favorites tonight.
What?
Minus 142. It's because
minus 142.
What is Reagan's over under?
Strikeouts?
Yes.
Pitcher props on FanDuel. Cole Reagan 7.5 over under.
Alt line 9+.
That would pay out plus 168.
There you go.
I was looking at a different
9
side.
is a lot
I
of
could see plus
strikeouts,
170. Let's go 10. He's gotten 10 4 straight starts, plus 310. You know? Doesn't he have 10 and 3 straight or 4 straight starts?
3, I think.
He's been on a heater for sure.
Yeah.
Man,
that's when you want to know when the panic really is. Like you think it's happening. Eventually when the start, if there is a stretch where the starting pitching comes back down to earth at all, and that's right now you at least have at least the pitching.
Oh God, then it'll be real ugly.
Well, that's what you got to hope the offense can turn around before that happens at some point, because there will be a stretch where you'll have one turn through the rotation where it's not going to be all-star level stuff, which is what you've seen from multiple guys.
The 0-6 sucks so bad we might need a song.
I worked on it. I didn't have enough time. I'll just be honest.
I'm actually stunned Cody did not have a song today. Stunned.
I had a meeting at my kid's school. Then she had her showcase night.
Oh, you're putting your family before the Royals. I see
She had
how
her
it is.
showcase night. Then we had dance. I just want to know the truth. I didn't have enough time yesterday.
You thought about it though, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
I have decided. Here, I'll make you a deal. Like if they lose 2 out of 3 of the weekend, I'll come with an off. Or they continue to play bad offense, I'll come with a song on Monday. I will find time.
More reason to root for the offense to pick it up this weekend. More reason for the offense to get going.
Hang on. So are we going to have to? Never mind. I'll have an offer conversation with you about the song.
Oh, okay. I know. No, he can still do it for his song.
Are you sure?
I know what you're talking about. If you guys have noticed, our bumper music's been different.
I want to make sure
we're not allowed to play certain unlicensed music.
Can I ask not a question about it? Can I ask if we're allowed to do something? Because I don't nobody likes Muzak elevator music coming back from break, but as you can understand, there are some legal reasons why we're not doing that. If local musicians send in their music that isn't belonging to a label, can we just play that instead?
Correct. We could.
So calling all local musicians, 913-586-7965.
It's not licensed.
Send an email to drew.nixon@odyssey.com. You got a song that's not owned by somebody,
we can't
and
play
you just want
licensed
your local band played, send us some music, because at the very least, I'd love to support local artists to, rather than, I don't know, whatever this the other
random music.
So if you're a local artist and you've never had your song played on the radio, congratulations.
If you have the instrumental version too, it'd be better.
Yeah, it probably needs to be
or the edited version, if we're being honest.
Well, yes, of course.
If the lyrics are cool, we'll be fine. We got to listen to
Text
it anyway.
line says blame your boss.
But if
it
you want,
has nothing to do with that.
But let's.
You guys decide. It's either Drew's fault or Speck's fault. It's one of the two. You choose. You guys can choose who you want to be upset with, Drew or the boss.
Look, technically, The reason we can't do it is because of the stream. It's not because of anything else. It's literally because of
YouTube has
the stream.
restrictions. Let's leave it at that. YouTube has restrictions with the video stream and the
Someone
music we
said
can
these
play.
local rappers are about to send their whole mixtape to
There you go,
you.
Drew.
Yeah.
Someone says, how about you pay the local musicians? How much do you guys need? Like $5? $10?
Listen, I will.
What do we need? Like, what would you get for a spin on Spotify?
Someone says, why don't you guys ask the old number 5s? They're great, but that's a morning show thing. They got a relationship already. We're not going to step on their toes.
And I don't want them to be every song. I'd like to mix it up. I'd like a variety of styles.
I wish this came up last segment.
Maybe you're a
because
garage band trying to get started.
I wish this came up last segment because I would have beatboxed my way into you guys doing this
You
segment.
still can later.
Yeah, but that's
we got
the
another
fan
break.
club. It's the fan club,
well, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, you could beatbox right now, Drew. Put a track down and we'll play it.
We're going to actually, if they don't give us new music soon, we're just going to start coming back with my songs for every commercial break.
I can make one promise. That will not happen. I can make one promise. That will not happen.
I will mute the
So
computer.
if you local artists don't want to help us out, prepare yourself for the suckiest from
Someone
Ben
said we could get,
Roethlisberger coming back from every break.
Let's get Kadarius Tony's songs on the show. We can have him make them for us. You know, he's got free time.
I just mean this for, like you're a 17-year-old kid in a high school band and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to make a career out of this or not, but let's get some stuff. So Cody is to blame. No, he said it can only be Drew or me. Don't put this on me. I had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, it's Drew's fault or it's Speck's fault. You guys decide. Pick a side. Team Drew, Team Speck. Actually, you're not really team either
Yeah,
at that
you're
point.
anti for either, but just choose the person you believe is the problem. You know? Whoever created this issue for us, because it does exist. Let's talk about the Chiefs for just a minute. Rob Collins is going to join us in about 15 minutes. We can get to a random question of the day here in just a few minutes as well. But just knowing that Rashee Rice might be suspended, and we don't know how many games. Could be 2, could be 6, could be 0, based on the fact that he hasn't been suspended yet. Who do you honestly think finishes with more yards next year, Xavier Worthy or Rashee Rice? Because I'm closer than I've ever been to saying Xavier Worthy. Some of it is admittedly an unknown suspension number, and some of it is that I saw Xavier Worthy grow tremendously. So I got to figure out who's going to be the bigger weapon. Target number will always be Rice. I don't think there's any way to argue that. If you think it's going to be Worthy, you have to say that you think that the deep passing game is back.
That's the only way I see it.
It's back in a big way, because otherwise it doesn't make sense.
The only way I see it, I would still answer Rashee Rice. Even if you told me he got suspended 2 games, I would say my answer is Rice. Because of the targets, look how good he looked before the injury in week 4 last year against the Chargers. ACL injuries, yeah, it's a question mark, but more and more now, especially when you're as young as he is, you come back and usually you are very similar. Now, sometimes it does take a year after the ACL where you're fully back. But I think if we're just talking plain yardage, not necessarily yards per catch, not talking touchdowns, because Worthy could end up having more of those, actually, if you think he's going to connect on some of the deep passes, too. I think I would go Rashee Rice still on that answer, just from a pure yardage. Let's say, could Rice be at 1250, 1150, and Worthy could have a great season and be a 900-yard guy? That'd be a really good season.
And we wouldn't complain.
The offense, the question we don't have the answer to is still, what is the difference? If they go and get an explosive running back, what does that do for the passing game? If Jalen Moore is an upgrade at left tackle, what does that do for the timing of the offense? Is Kelsey going to have a different role, or are they going to try to use him the same way?
He's the number one target
all
guy?
that is going to change. And someone says Rice didn't tear his ACL. It was a serious knee injury.
He did have, it was a serious knee injury. He avoided that, I think, for whatever reason, but it's not like it went great overall. And he is coming off of a serious knee injury and a potential suspension.
PLC injury.
Or PCL?
Well, this says I thought it was a PCL. This says PLC.
I've torn a PCL.
I
Is there a PLC? Is that a different one in there?
I'm reading Google.
This feels like a typo.
This is Google's. This is me reading off of Google. I've also heard of a PCL, but Arrowhead Pride's article says PLC as well.
Okay. The other day, I officially turned
Posterior
off
lateral corner.
Anytime now, I turned it off the other day. I couldn't take it anymore. That Google AI might have the accuracy of like a person throwing a dart blind after 10 Miller Lights. The accuracy on it, the first turn up is so low. I feel like I'm not willing to do it. So not willing to shift fully there yet. I think it might actually be really close.
What yardage number gets it done?
I think 1,100, 1,150. Because I think what's going to end up happening is it's going to be like 1,100, 1,000, and 900 between Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, and Travis Kelce. And I'm not sure which is where. But I think by the time this shakes out, Travis Kelce's target number finally gets pulled back a little bit. And that everybody is kind of in a similar-ish area. The guy who has the best chance to go 12, 13, 1,400 yards is still Rice. That's why it's probably supposed to be your answer, is that it's probably him. But if he misses 4 games, you don't think that Rice leads the team in receiving, do you?
No,
do
it
you
has
think
to be
it's
a
Kelsey
2-game.
or Worthy?
It has to be a 2-game suspension or less. In that scenario, I think it's probably still going to be Travis Kelce. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, man. They love giving him targets. There's no sign or indication that they're going to lower this thing. The question for him is whether or not this like best shape of your life stuff he's talking in the offseason is going to play a factor for his ability. Like, look, I mean, in the playoff, he doesn't play fast anymore. He is still good at getting open. He still makes he is still a productive player. I don't think there's any argument there. I just wonder whether or not, he's got one more big receiving year left in it, or do they need to start making the transition to we feed Rice and Worthy more, and we figure it out from there. I will say when Rice was healthy, they'd already shifted to Rashee Rice was taking some of those Travis Kelce routes. Like they had
the underneath stuff.
Yeah, they had already begun a beginning part of that transition. So the injury / suspension part will obviously play a factor in whether or not we believe that.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew, over in the text line, 913-586-7965. Of course, the random question of the day is brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Results every week. Then receive free support for life online at awaken180weightloss.com. Earlier today, you had mentioned, we were talking a little bit about the Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes restaurant, right?
1587 Prime.
1587 Prime. So I got a question as it relates to me as we were talking about the restaurant, because now I'm curious.
Oh, boy.
So I get emails because I don't know, just never, like, I think I unsubscribe, and you know how, like, sometimes you unsubscribe from something, and then after, like, 3 years, it just, like, they just start showing back up in your
That's
inbox.
right. Yes.
So LinkedIn, they'll still send you the emails, and because...
Are you actively searching?
I'm not, but because our job list hosts, I get a lot of restaurant work suggested to me.
Same.
Yep.
So I get a lot of restaurant work suggested to me. Turns out, one of the jobs that's being suggested to me is bar manager at 1587 Prime at their new location. The random question I have for you today is, do you think I could get an interview?
No, stop.
If I applied,
Stop.
Hold on, I have been a bar manager
yes.
that is on my resume.
I think you could.
At a nice restaurant. Do you think if I applied to be the bar manager at 1587 Prime, I could get an interview? Not the job.
Yes.
I'm not asking if I could get the job. I'm asking you if they'd let me show up to apply, Like
you have a large gap in your resume from working in the industry. That's a problem.
like a decade.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Ooh,
That's a problem. You're not getting the call
Too
back.
far?
Yeah, you're not getting the call back. This is going to be a very high-end restaurant. They're going to have people from L.A. and Chicago and Vegas applying to maybe even move to run this restaurant. Bar manager, executive chef, operations manager. It may not be necessarily local people.
Let's hear to some of the duties and functions before we make any kind of determination. Overall responsibility and awareness of beverage cost. I handled that at Webster House.
You
I was
haven't
the
handled
person
our money well in our show fund, so I don't know.
But I was in charge. I did a good job there. I met all my margins. I got a bonus for my margins when I was at Webster House, so I did a nice job there. Awareness of breaks and overtime. I don't think that really matters. Nobody really takes those in restaurants, so we'll just ignore that part.
So you're bad boss to your employees.
Dude, I've worked in restaurants for a long time. I don't remember anyone actually. You try to get them breaks, but these are not promised in the industry. I just don't know what to tell you. Oversee preparation of cocktails, making sure the right measurements and ingredients are being used. I make cocktails sometimes for a fan club. So I've stayed in practice.
Yeah.
I used to make the cocktail list at, there. So maybe. What do we think?
I think
you could.
I think I could get an interview.
Maybe. I think the gap in the resume is going to be a problem for them.
That might be the first question they ask.
Why did you take people take time off?
You got
from
out of the restaurant industry for 10 years. Things maybe have changed that you don't recognize in the industry.
They might ask why, I'm trying to get back in the game for sure. It says I will have to report directly to the general manager. And I'll be honest, and this is a moment of self-reflection. I'm not great. I don't do great with supervisors. Gold will admit this.
By the way, never say that in a job interview. That's a terrible thing to say.
Well, sure, but they're not listening right now. But Gold, I wouldn't call myself full anti-authority, but I will say that I give management pushback more than maybe I should and just generally in my working life.
You can flip on that and say that it's good because I'm passionate about the work that I do. If there's something that I think I could that could be useful, then I'm going to bring it up. even
Someone
if
said
it's
they
to
might
management.
like that your last name is Tap. Maybe they think that'll be fun.
This isn't a brewery he's trying to get a job at. This is 1587 Pride. This is a very high-end restaurant that
It
they're
says
building.
perform monthly inventory. I used to do that. I have never scheduled anybody. It does say schedule for bartenders and barbacks, but how hard can that be? I mean, what's that, like an Excel spreadsheet and a request time off? We could probably handle that, right? That doesn't seem so bad.
The funniest thing
Assist
about this
staff
is
in completing beverage
Are
comp.
you saying you're going to
voids
apply?
I was gonna, no. The funniest thing about this is
to see if I can get it.
what if you actually get the job?
I'll take the interview.
No.
You know?
If they actually offer you the job,
They're not gonna offer
are
me
you just
the
going to
job.
back out?
Getting the job.
I'm not
too.
quitting this job for that.
No, I know that, but I'm
According to
actually,
their website, they'll pay me $70,000 to $80,000 a year. You know, to go be the bar manager at 1587.
Huh.
Yeah.
A lot of long days, long hours, probably.
Yeah, they do say you got to work some weekends and work some special
There you
events,
go.
you know. And my hours now are pretty good. Hours now are pretty good.
You
in
should
the
try.
old
It looks
radio
like
game,
they
you know?
have. The restaurant said that they're going to have live music. Maybe you should try for that gig instead, Cody.
live music. See if they'll. Dude, they're trying to like keep people in the restaurant.
Supposed to
They're
be
not gonna do
calming. You're supposed to be calming and soothing voice at the restaurant. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know.
that. From the 913, the odds of you getting that job are the same odds of Noah Gray being our leading receiver.
What's more likely,
That's pretty
Cody
low.
gets an interview for the bar manager job at Mahomes and Kelsey's new restaurant, or Drew breaks 100 at Augusta?
I mean,
I think Cody gets the job interview.
Oh yeah, 100%.
so.
The interview.
Interview, not the job.
The job are both long shots of long shots.
Yeah. I mean, probably. But I mean, I've done most of these things, I'll say. Not all of them, but like.
Well, sure. There's a high
Most
school
of
player
those.
that says, I also have thrown a football before. It doesn't mean you can be a quarterback in the NFL.
But it
You
was
know?
a nice restaurant I worked at. They said they only want 3 to 5 years of experience. I have more than that.
Oh, you're saying you're overqualified now.
Practically overqualified. Basic computer skills, I'm good there.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that people at 1587 wouldn't want to hear?
I'm just imagining
Must
it's a
be
nice,
able to
it's a
stand
nice
for long periods.
it's
That might be a
ni-
problem with the Super Bowl. That actually may be
nice fine dining experience, and you just hear Cody's voice from across the restaurant, trying to have a calming evening
I
out.
did this job at quiet restaurants. You just lower your voice in that setting.
Picturing that is actually hilarious.
It says they offer opportunity for growth and development, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Who knows what it can turn
Okay,
into?
Oh,
so
someone's
I could
upset
be-
with you. Someone's upset with you. They said, so Cody wants to take an interview spot from someone who has worked their whole
Okay.
career working for this
Okay,
opportunity.
relax.
That's
Stop it.
right.
You know
I
what?
do
They're
think we should
right.
do it.
How dare you? How dare you?
That kind of stuff's going to make me apply. We're going to find out whether or not if I get denied or
Someone
not.
said if Drew is doing the golf thing, then you have to at least apply.
I
Cody.
agree 100%, wholeheartedly.
I have to at least apply. See if I can get the
Yeah.
interview. I mean, I'll dress nice. You know how this works.
Do you want to hear some? Speaking of music, this
Yes.
I
You gonna beatbox first, real quick? We gotta go to break in like 30 seconds.
Somebody sent me it's an instrumental. You want to hear this?
All right, give us a little snippet
See if
of
you guys
it.
can approve it.
I mean, it's just as good as the, if not better than the royalty-free
artist?
stuff we've been playing.
Let's give him a shout out. Who's the person?
Grain, and this is hashtag Bout That. That's the name of the song.
About that.
Okay. That's not bad. I kinda
That
like
would
it.
work. That would work. I mean, you've heard the other stuff we're bumping back in with these days.
Yeah, at
That'll
least
work.
this way I get to support a local artist.
That's right. All right, up next, Rob Collins from Fox 4 going to join us for a Fan Club Friday. We'll talk more draft. We'll get his perspective on the golf, and we'll figure out what on earth Cody's chances are, according to Rob Collins, of getting a bar manager job at Mahomes' restaurant.
This is Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Vernier every Wednesday at 12:30
We need to nip this in the bud. We need to nip what in the bud?
on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
Slow it down and get it going slower.
Eisenberg is proven to slow GA progression.
Eisenberg. gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Hey, it's NBA champion Bill Wennington. It's the best time to be a basketball fan. All the thrills and the playoff drama, done sitting on the sidelines and ready to win some real cash? Check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 posterizes the competition, including prize picks. Hit all your picks and score higher minimum payouts on Pick 6 Plus. Even more cash if you outscore the competition.
Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code 965. That's code 965 for new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins. Only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
At Busey Bank and CrossFirst Bank, we're partnering to help make your business visions become realizations. Through securing capital for growth, cash flow management, and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future. Because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. Together, we're building extraordinary impact in business, wealth, and community. Busey Bank and CrossFirst Bank. Member FDIC.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Holy cow, you've done it again.
We've done it again, Toby. We won the President's Award again this year. This is the 22nd time we've been awarded this awesome honor from Ford Motor Company.
But what is the President's Award?
The President's Award is the top award Ford Motor Company gives its dealers for excellence in customer satisfaction in both sales and service and their sales penetration numbers. So we are super honored to have received this award for the 22nd time.
It covers the whole works at Lewisburg Ford.
Absolutely, and it's a testament to the awesome people we have working at Lewisburg Ford and helping our customers, and it really shows with this award because it's only a few dealers that get it, and we've done it 22 times.
I guarantee you this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck in the Midwest.
Absolutely. You couple that President's Award lineage with our no-hassle Toby Tobin pricing, it does not get any better than that.
What is your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Or LewisburgFord.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The price of gold could surge in 2025. A large bank analyst is calling it the ultimate perceived safe haven asset. That's why thousands of hardworking Americans are getting help safeguarding their money and saving with precious metals like gold and silver. Call 855-838-GOLD to learn about the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. They're going to give you a free gold and silver kit. Plus, you can also get up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver on qualified orders. Call Goldco at 855-838-GOLD. That's 855-838-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Join us for the Fans Draft Party on Thursday, April 24th from the Landing in Liberty. We'll be broadcasting live, plus your chance to win $965 and an autographed Chiefs helmet in our draft contest. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
1 o'clock hour on a Friday. That means it's a Fan Club Friday right here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Our guest today, Rob Collins, sports director over at Fox 4. It's been a bit since I think you were in studio when all of us were here. I think you went in one other time, maybe when Cody or I were off, but it's been a bit, man.
Yeah.
How things with you?
Good. How y'all doing, man?
We're solid. Yeah, we're
just applied
solid.
for a new job. I'm going to see what happens.
I heard you're trying to be
I'm
bar
not kidding.
manager.
I'm not kidding. I literally just applied,
restaurant.
so we'll find out if I get an interview.
I think you'll get an interview if there's a local person doing an interview. They'll know your name.
I had to rearrange. It took me a second. I had to rearrange. I put my restaurant stuff on top instead of the radio stuff. It's like, you got to put the restaurant stuff on top. That way they think
I think
about
when they see your name, you'll get an interview. It might be a token interview, but you'll get one.
A token interview. Just sit down there and be like, we'd like to offer you the job. Be like, oh, God, no, please. Give it to somebody else.
No.
I'm not ready to go back to the career change. When I first left restaurants, I took a pay cut getting into radio full time. It was tough. I was like, damn, I'm making more money bartending.
Oh, my first job in TV, 1995, Sherman, Texas. You want to guess how much I made an hour?
An hour? Tell me it was more than 10.
I'm guessing you're
TV
making
job?
$8 something an hour.
$7.
Yeah.
For your first TV job,
$7
$7?
an hour, 30 years ago,
goodness.
Sherman, Texas.
That's
and I was
brutal,
doing
man.
everything, shooting,
Yeah.
editing, reporting, everything.
You were doing MMJ before it was even popular that everybody does.
One-man band is what we called
Yeah.
it back in the day.
Dang.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
$7.
In the not in the industry, like my first just job period, like in high school or whatever. Like I was working at a grocery store. This was in 2004, something like that, 2004, and I think I was making $7.10 an hour at a grocery store. And that, but that's not like that was at a grocery store, not what you were you were trying to get in the industry and TV
Crazy.
and all that. So that is crazy. So yes, we were talking about the new restaurant that's going to open up this summer. We were saying how long does it take to actually get into that restaurant at some point?
What a steak you think?
Let's be real. I think, and everybody in this room right now, you will end up going and be in there and get on the list quicker than we can or something, Rob.
I don't know about that.
TV. Come on, they see your face.
They want
More
the
respect.
TV personality
I don't
in there.
have any pull,
They
man.
want people to walk in and see people oh my God,
Maybe.
Rob Collins from Fox 4.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
They don't know what we look like.
I don't have the hubris to think that I have any pull in this town. So.
You've been doing it way too long. I mean, look, you're not, you're not a news anchor. They get a little more clout. You know how this works.
Maybe. Yeah, sure.
Who's the biggest name? Who's like the toughest person to go to lunch with at your station? Like who gets recognized the fastest?
You go anywhere
Holt?
with John Holt. Oh, he's a congressman, man.
He's also kind of the life of the party. Holt's a
Dude,
good time.
He's fantastic. Every single person knows John Holt. And when we go to Super Bowl trips, wherever we are, first person that always gets recognized.
People knew you, though. We were walking on.
So that's your dude, John Holt. You guys go to 1687.
Don't let Rob try to downplay this. We were on Fremont Street in October on this Saturday, I think it was, before the Chiefs-Raiders game or something like that. And people from Kansas City were out there, obviously, and multiple people came up.
They did.
They sure as hell didn't know who I was, Cody.
It's true.
They knew who Rob Collins was immediately.
Yeah.
They stopped him.
TV, man.
They're like, we got to ask you, are you on TV?
Yeah.
And Rob's like, well, yeah. And they're like, I knew it. And then they all are big fans of Rob Collins.
Yeah, well, the girls in bikini stopped me too, but they had no idea.
Yeah,
who
that
I
was a little bit
either. They were
different.
trying
That was
to
a
get
little
some
bit
On
dollar
Fremont,
bills.
that's a slightly different,
That's a
they're going
different-
for a slightly different
avenue.
thing.
I
I
still
still
think
Drew there once, and he was just like, guffawed.
We had
at what was
dinner.
taking
We had
place.
dinner somewhere overlooking Fremont.
Yeah,
back in,
we did too.
Yeah,
After we talked to you the next day.
Yeah, we had dinner.
It's fantastic.
It was, yeah, right, Drew. And we're sitting there, we're having dinner, and Drew goes, guys. I'm like, what, man? He's like, look. He's like, she has no top on. Like, yeah, man, that's
Yeah.
what the nun does on Fremont Street.
It's normal.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot the name of the restaurant.
It's true, it happened, did it not? I'm not
That's
making it up.
exactly what you said. That's how the story went.
It did, but it was just, it's Vegas behavior, I suppose.
Yeah, it was great after we went out with you guys the next night. We were at one of those places and we were overlooking everyone in
Yeah.
Fremont. And there was a band right under us. And they were just playing 80s.
Nice.
80s hair metal. And I was loving life, man. It was
This is
fantastic.
great live
Takes me
music.
back
I'm
to high school.
outside.
It was
Fremont's
great.
just kind of a fun spot.
I like it.
We obviously went to Vegas. I went 3 times last year. You went 4.
Yeah.
So, like, we might have overdid it a little personally,
No.
but
I love Vegas, man.
Yeah, so do I. I'm pacing way below that so far. It's
I'm at
April
zero
and I
so
haven't
far.
it's April and I haven't been yet, Rob. I don't know what's going on.
well,
We're actually going to California, Alex and I, for our old producer Nick Schwartz's wedding.
Oh, really?
A couple weeks away, yeah.
Out of town wedding.
Santa Cruz.
Nick's finally doing it, huh?
Yeah, he got engaged. We got engaged. We got the invite a little late, I'll say. If Nick's listening, little late on the
45
invite.
days before the wedding.
I guess they got
For-
lost for an out of town. We're going to California.
Where?
Santa Cruz.
Oh, you just said that, didn't you?
No,
Yeah.
you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
So
I'll
yeah.
say, for what it's worth, the wedding venue.
What's the bachelor party vibe like?
Oh, I have no idea. We weren't in part of that. Yeah.
I don't think he doesn't strike me as a real.
I don't know if he had one.
Like
honestly.
true bachelor party. Like, I'm not saying you wouldn't, but like I bet it was like a small group of like college friends if they did something.
Which makes sense.
Probably went to play golf, knowing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good answer.
He's also living in Paris until August, so his life is in like
his
a
wife's
crazy.
working there right now.
His
so.
life is just in like
Her fiance's working
He
there,
left
so.
here and like had a real glow up. He left this show and his
Glow
life for what it's worth, Drew. He left this show and his life got infinitely better every day after he left.
Yeah.
So if you ever think about leaving this job, Nick's life just got better every second after he
There
left.
you go, Drew. You follow Nick's path.
There it is.
Maybe you get new neighbors who aren't as loud.
Oh, see? He said it started back up, by the way, Rob.
Oh,
They
no.
must be taking your Blue Chew advice.
He said that's right. You like those?
Listeners.
Every time I hear that commercial in the car, it just cracks me up because I know Drew's backstory, and all I can think of is when he's saying this, I'm just hoping and praying that his neighbors are listening.
Oh yeah, it would be amazing. We'll talk about golf and
Revenge opportunity.
We'll talk about golf and Drew
my
some more
gosh.
in the next segment because we got to bring up the scenario that he is in a couple weeks for the Corn Ferry Tour, plus his hypothetical as well about Augusta. We'll run it by you. You're a big golfer, so I
Yeah,
want to get
I've
your
been to
perspective.
Augusta, so
He
I can
texted me
help
after
you
that
out.
came up,
All
actually.
right, perfect.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that at some point this hour as well. But the draft is less than a week away. I know you guys are busy covering. I don't know if you're going up to Green Bay or not.
We're not.
Okay, probably no reason to. They're picking 31, quite honestly.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. Exactly.
If we're lucky.
What do you think is? You heard Brett Veach yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is real right now? What is smoke screen? Do you buy the fact that maybe they would want to trade up for Josh Simmons?
If he's available, if it's like a Trent McDuffie situation, I think he mentioned that yesterday, and I could see them doing that, but that's about the only thing I could see them trading up for. Offensive line, defensive line. They're not going to trade up for a corner. They're not going to trade up for a running back. They're not going to trade up for a receiver. I don't think.
I'm with you.
But I think if they do take the pick, it'll be O-line or D-line first because Veach said it's pretty thick in the D-line, especially the edge area. And he said the corners are good in the second round because they only had 12 or 13 dudes with first round grades, 202 or so on their draft board total. So if Simmons falls to that McDuffie range-ish, they got an extra third. Maybe they can make some moves there. Or maybe someone can call at the end and say, hey, maybe we do want a quarterback. And I don't know if they'll drop down. Veach tends to be more aggressive. But I don't know if they'll trade back, maybe. If
This
he
isn't the
likes
aggressive
depth.
draft.
Right.
And I also said, like, he was actually really honest. I kind of liked it. Like, he's honest a lot of times, but he was like, I got to get reined in a little bit. Look, I always want to be aggressive, and the difficult thing with life is learning, like, every once in a while you don't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can just wait and see what happens. And a lot of this is about, like, do you have more than one player you would be okay with getting 6 picks from now, or do you feel like this is the guy you have to get? And look, Worthy in McDuffie's case, none of us are out here saying, like,
no,
I wish you wouldn't have done that. Like, not right now. I know Worthy only finished with it. It's so crazy because, like, regular season, you look at his numbers, you're like, okay, I mean, it's fine. 630 yards. And then you watch the postseason where he had another 200.
Yeah.
And, like, mattered more as the season went on. It's like, yeah. I mean, I think they want Simmons. I think Simmons is going like 19. I think every other team in the league is doing the exact same thing as the Chiefs. They're praying he's healthy. Somebody else will talk themselves into it. There's no starting left tackles in the draft. And everyone agrees he's one of like 2 guys who could start. And if he's one of 2 guys, somebody's got to take him. Someone else is going to take him.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot to move up.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if he fell to 26, maybe they get him. But like, I think he's going like
if
19.
he's at 26, Veach is pulling the trigger there.
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
think you're right. I think
if
you're
he
right.
can get a dance partner.
Who's
Rams, they say they want to trade down.
Vikings also, they don't have that many picks, so there's some thought that they would want to trade back. Who's the name, whether it's a first-round pick or maybe you think someone a second or third rounder that you just think is a great fit? It could be any position, but it's kind of caught your attention a little bit. We went through on the running backs. Like I like Dylan Sampson, the running back out of Tennessee, is kind of a name that if he's there in the second or third round, I'd be pretty happy about that. Is there a name like that for you anywhere?
No one jumps out to me, but I am interested in the local running backs, right?
Yeah.
Devin Neal and Giddens. I think Giddens is probably a better fit for the Chiefs.
Same.
You know, later round, it could be great. It's always a good story. It's a great camp story. When you guys are out there, you buy him snow cones, he'll talk to you and all that good stuff. But I always like it when you get a little local flair because it helps us get through the tediousness of training camp.
I like the local flair if they're good. Like,
Yeah.
my whole stance is just like, don't take local people just to take them. This draft has 1 million.
You mean at the end of the first round?
Yeah. Between NUK, UK State, and just local high school kids, there's kind of a pretty good depth of that this time.
There's a lot.
I'd say you probably know even more of the local kids than we do, with some of the high school sports coverage over the years as well. What do you, is there a player even in that regard other than the college connection? Because there's the Iowa State kid that's from the area too, I think. There's a few other Park Hill guys.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really jump. I mean, I don't put a lot of stock in the draft or like all these NIL guys moving. I want to see it when you get here.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's like Drew will understand this. You could be a driving range professional. You hit everything perfect. Doesn't matter till you step on that first tee. So, I mean, it's fun to see where people are going, projecting, whatever, but I don't put a lot of stock in it, man. And I know some people love this stuff. Like every single day, they're like, oh, this guy's doing. I don't care. When you get here, show me what you got, and then
That's
I'll
how
pay
I am
attention.
with recruiting in college,
Yeah,
football
same.
and basketball.
Recruiting is really, unless you're like the
way.
number 1 overall recruit, we can have a little
Like
talk
I'm excited
about, that,
about Darren Peterson, right, or whatever, who's going to KU. But like I've always been this way. I just until you're on campus, especially in college, like I don't get that excited about the 17 or 18-year-old kid
Me
that's
neither.
never been on campus yet. I just got to show me, especially in college.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. Older I get, I'm like, yeah, just prove it to me first. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, again, we don't get caught up in a bunch of recruiting talk here. Draft at the very least, like, I like that essentially you have a numerical number assigned to your performance, right? Like, if you're a first round pick, I expect you to be of some value. Like, as a first round pick, I expect starter level play. Second round pick, at least a starter at some point, or like, if you're depending on the position, a really good rotational defensive lineman, right? Like, if you're an offensive lineman, I expect you to be a starter or whatever. It does give you some sense of where they are. We can do a mock draft here in a little bit. Remember, we had 2 earlier that were so bad. We asked people to just give us, like, we'll just take a listener one. So somebody sent us one from Twitch. We can do that in a little bit since we've got, I mean, I couldn't, the other 2, awful earlier. I couldn't take it anymore.
They were,
But
seemed a little unrealistic. Yes.
This draft seems very unpredictable.
It does.
Because it's a huge wash. There are no, like you said, starter draft, not star draft. Like, I think you'd hate if you were picking in the top 15. You'd be like, damn.
Well, especially
Normally, I get
usually-
like a dude. Now I'm
Yeah.
just going to be stuck with everyone else.
Usually everyone's focused on the quarterbacks. And what do we get? 3.5 is the total, I think, of
Yeah, for
quarterbacks
first round,
taken
yeah.
in the first round. So
I think it's going to be 3. Anybody want to say it's more than that?
I don't think Milroe and Dart are going.
I think just Dart.
Dart, I
Joe?
think is. I think.
All of a sudden, people are talking about him in the first round. You think he's going in the first round?
I just think
Brandon Whedon did one, so I don't want to rule anything out. But like,
I think we see 3 for sure, though. I guess so. Yeah, I think 3 for sure are gone. And the question is, like, does what team gets desperate late? Like, I just still, if Sanders is off the board sooner, let's say he's off in the top
Saints?
10.
I think to
the
get 3, you
Saints.
need him to
going to
not go
Saints?
21.
Do the Steelers just sit there at 21 and wait for Milroe or Dart, or is there another team that we're not talking about that also is willing to get back into the first round and go get one of those guys. And maybe we're way off. I would not. The Steelers, if they want to sit there and draft Dart, that's fine, or Milrow. I just can't imagine being a team that would want to trade back in the first round just to get Jackson Dart. I wouldn't give up extra draft capital to come and get. If I already had a top 10 pick, let's say Cleveland, they take Travis Hunter at 2.
Okay.
They're going to trade back in the first round just to get Jackson Dart? I don't know.
Probably not. I mean, the fifth year is enticing always, especially with quarterbacks, but it's just, I don't think it's a really very good quarterback draft.
I just also think it's like difficult to predict. Normally, if we say it's just not good all around, it very rarely pans out like, well, we were all wrong.
Yeah.
These guys are stars, but like, if I'm like the Browns, I mean, I'd take Dart or Show. I mean, I'd take a chance on somebody. It's that or just like choose to lose. I mean, I don't know that you have much hope outside of that. I mean, I know the third round picks very rarely pan out, but I don't know. Taking one and hoping he's your Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson is not. It's better than just ignoring the quarterback position, I guess.
I mean, you don't have faith in the Browns' epic quarterback picks over the last couple of years?
Earlier, we were talking about like when the Chiefs trade up, and like when they traded up for 10, I was in the Chiefs media room, and when they traded up to 10, everyone's scrambling. Like we all have like a plate of food, and it's like, oh damn it, we got to do something.
Right? Yeah.
Everyone's got to work. We're all scrambling, and I'm like, man, they got to take Deshaun Watson. I thought they were going to take Deshaun Watson. Mahomes was my number one quarterback, like for me. But I just assumed they were taking Deshaun Watson. I'm like, they're not going up to 10 to take, somebody else.
Sure.
And they took Mahomes. I was like, thank God they didn't take Watson now. Oh,
well, yeah,
God.
sure. Looking back on it.
Oh, God.
Well,
like,
it's funny. The first
bad.
year, people didn't feel that way because Watson had that good rookie season.
And Mahomes wasn't playing.
And Mahomes hadn't played yet. But boy, oh boy, have things changed.
Changed indeed.
Yeah, in a lot of different ways. We got Rob Collins from Fox 4 hanging out with us on a Fan Club Friday. Let's talk some baseball. We can get back to the NFL and some stuff in a little bit. How many different ways can you say the offense has been abysmal 20 games into the season? What do you think is the reason? Do you think it's all just, hey, the top of the lineup is the biggest problem? Is there a developmental thing? What do you think's going on? Or is it just baseball 20 games in, and unfortunately for them, it's happening right out of the gate?
It's hard because you want them to win now. Obviously, they do, considering what they came off of last year. But we knew it was going to be a problem with the outfield. The outfield bats are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the batting averages.
I just didn't think they'd be quite this bad. I knew it wasn't going to be good. I didn't think it'd be like a train wreck.
Melendez, 80.87, and Renfroe and Waters are batting our weights right now.
Yeah,
in the 160s maybe.
I'm not sure. Yeah, 180s.
Just awful. And I don't know what you do to fix it. I don't see anybody in AAA that can come up and play. I know everybody's panning for Jack. He's not ready. Where are you going to play him?
I mean, we're going to go watch him in Springfield, but I'm not asking for him to be in the big leagues.
He hasn't played any outfield. He's hit 224 right now, which is fine, but he needs more work in AA. He's played 12 games, for crying out loud. Mm-hmm. John Rave is the name everybody brings up. Okay, he can probably be better in the short term, from a replacement level player, but he's not the savior. I still think, while we can talk about Renfroe, Melendez, sure, over time, if they keep hitting this way, they will make a move on them. I don't think they're going to do it necessarily today, but they'll make a move on them. But ultimately, if India is not getting on base the way we all expected him, if Salvador Perez is hitting the way he is, if Vinny's struggling the way he is, like that, those are the guys that we're always going to be part of this team going on the run we hope they can go on and get into the postseason. It wasn't going to be because Hunter Renfroe and MJ Melendez figured it out. That was going to be if they figure it out and those guys are hitting, that's a bonus. Then they're going on a run. You know what I mean? Like a real run. Right now, they have, other than Michael to a certain extent, nobody is hitting. Yeah. Nobody.
I mean, what's Isbell, like 270 or so right there?
Is it that high? Okay.
No, I think he's in 250. I looked this up earlier today.
But yeah, I mean, it's just.
But
you're
it's
right,
like you can deal with that. He's your 9-hole hitter, like whatever. But it's just
fine.
Not if a guy's hitting less than 100 and the other guy's hitting barely over 100, and everything else just kind of like messing with it. Then we're having a completely different conversation. I don't know. I'm probably fans will get mad. Obviously, we end up being wrong 4 weeks from now. It is statistically and just emotionally far more likely that they will continue to pitch at this level than hit at this level. Like, the pitching is more likely to last than half of the lineup hitting 185 3 weeks from
You would think so, given the track record of the pitchers.
They got. I mean, I know Vinny's only got like a 2.5 year, 3, but he's got enough of a track record. I know he's not hitting 184.
No, that'll get better. And it is early. You talked about 20 games. If you equate it to a football game, that's just over 1 week almost, in NFL. So there's a lot of time. They're playing good teams. They're facing some good pitchers. We'll see what happens when the Rockies come to town.
Yeah, if they get embarrassed by the Rockies coming off a series where they maybe only take one or something against Detroit.
Yeah, they should sweep the Rockies.
Then it's a big problem.
Rockies the worst team in baseball.
They're not good.
They're the only team who score less than the Royals.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And I mean, they'll still get like the breadth of the rotation. The Rockies will get Cole Reagans for game. Look at 1, 2, 3 in the rotation.
Yeah, they should
at
sweep.
home.
They should sweep them.
I very rarely call for that because baseball's weird. I 100% agree. Like a sweep should be the expectation on Monday. Even if they go 2-2, and let's hope now they go 2-2 in Detroit overall, which means they got to win 2 of the next 3. But even if they go that, my expectation is that.
I think they'll win today.
They're favorites.
They're not going to beat
Reagan's
Scuba
on the bump. Yeah, I know.
I mean,
That's why it feels
I
like
would
they got to
be
win tonight
surprised.
and tomorrow if you think they could split.
How'd they do against Skubal last year? Anybody look it up? And his Cy Young year, how did they hit against Skubal?
Sure.
Probably
I
not
don't know.
good. He won a Cy Young.
Yeah, probably so.
Very few people hit well against him, I imagine, last
But
year.
I think the pressure is on the top 4 or 5 guys. As you mentioned earlier, when they don't do it, everyone starts to press. And you've seen the guys. Like last night, they had bases loaded, 1 out. Drew Waters came up,
what a
struck
abysmal
out
at-bat.
on 3 straight
Awful
pitches.
at bat.
And then Isbell swings at the first pitch after that. I mean, I know these guys are pressing, but, watch a pitch or two, man.
That Drew Waters at bat might be the worst at bat anybody on the team has taken all year.
You got to put the ball
And
in
I've
play.
I've seen some really bad at bats. He swung at 3 pitches, 2 were outside the zone, and I'm not sure he made contact. It was like, hey man, that won't work.
No.
If you want to get called up and stay up here, you're going to have to do something different than that.
You can credit pitchers sometimes, but that was a terrible approach. And a lot of the guys, I think the approach, guys have some issues. We've seen Salvi for years swing at things way out of the strike zone. He usually hits a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been hitting those this year, and he's swinging at a lot of bad pitches.
Yeah, we had Jake Eisenberg of the Royals on earlier, and he mentioned some of the underlying metrics, and I get it. Fans get annoyed with that after a while, like, hey, they want to see the results. I said, I'll buy into the underlying metrics looking better than the results in April. You can't be telling me June 1st, well, the metrics say this. At that point, it's, no, we got to see the results. But the 20 games in, I'll buy into that, hey, there is a bit of some unluckiness happening for Salvi in certain areas. I know fans hate hearing that.
Yeah.
But I think this early in the season, I can lean into that more. But I don't want to hear that around Memorial Day weekend telling me, well, the numbers say he's still just so unlucky. No, it's 2 months of the season. I got to see results.
Yeah, but April 18th, I'll entertain.
That's what I'm saying.
I
yeah.
did look it up, by the way.
Yeah.
Last
What you
year,
got?
the Kansas City Royals faced Skubal in his Cy Young year 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
He only went 23 1/3 innings, allowed 11 earned runs, and had a 4.24 ERA. He did not have an ERA above 2.59 against any other team in baseball. The Royals were the best team against Skubal last year.
Did they win those games? What, does it show the record?
His record was... That's a good question. What was his record in those games? He was 1-0, so I don't know if the team did or not.
Gotcha.
Or no, I'm sorry. His record in those was 2-2. So the Royals won at least 2 of those games.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're good.
Well, there you go.
I mean, they got to Skubal a little bit. He had 27 strikeouts in those 4 games, which meant he wasn't struggling there. But outside of that, they actually did a better job against Skubal than most teams.
We think this weekend, Canna comes back off the IL. He'll obviously be back with the club. He was playing decent. Not that he's some savior either, but he was playing decent. You just send Drew Waters right back down. And then Tolbert, you don't really need the pinch running speed right now if you're not getting on base all that often anyway. You might as well. That to me is where John Rave or Cody mentioned Gentry, either guy, I don't really care, get called up. Do you think those will be the moves we see tomorrow?
Most likely. I mean, you got to think Waters is the first guy going back to Omaha. So we'll see.
Yeah, it feels like that's the direction that this thing is headed in.
I just it's such a weird year for the Royals because we have expectations. I don't know. If this were a year in which they had lost 50, if they had won 56 games, 63, 60, this started to be like, well, guess we didn't make it to the end of April. This team's over. But I did see this team make the postseason last year. I do think at worst they're around a 500 club.
Sure.
But, if the hitting comes back down to earth, yeah, they could be in trouble. I mean, things are weird.
We got Rob Collins from Fox 4 hanging out with us. Up next, we'll talk a little golf. We want to get Rob's perspective on Drew's qualifying for the Korn Ferry Tour.
Nice.
And we mentioned yesterday chips, our favorite chips, and it's the draft season. So we got Rob here for a little chip draft as well coming up next.
Draft. All right.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
All right, fans, sports fans in general, Underdog has become the best place to bet to make entries during the basketball playoffs with their extender program. With the extender, you can play your way to an increasingly bigger boost each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost, continue boosting each subsequent game, and then you can unlock the next one. The longer the series, now that we're in the middle of the playoffs, the bigger the boost. It's pretty simple, by the way. You just go in there to make your selections. You're just choosing higher or lower than your favorite player's stats. Points, assists, rebounds, if we're talking baseball tonight, runs, hits, strikeouts, all those things are available over at Underdog and available on the Missouri side. That's why they're one of the leading sports apps to make those sports selections that you can play on the Missouri side, Kansas side as well. Once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1. Get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Download the Underdog app today. Sign up using that promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit using that promo code TAPP. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Our biggest deal is back. The Tires at Cost sale at Telly Tire and Auto Centers. You pay what we pay. No gimmicks, no catch. All in-stock tires from Telly's huge inventory at cost. Plus mounting and balancing by certified tire technicians for only $27.95. The top brands, the lowest possible prices, with a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. There's never been a better time to replace your worn-out tires. These unbeatable savings won't last long. Hurry and reserve your tires today. Take care of your car. Take advantage of our sale. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for junk tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
Whether you're digging a pond, clearing brush, grading property, or doing demo, Foley Equipment, your local Caterpillar dealer, is your one-stop shop. Buy or rent, Foley Equipment has the machines you need to get the job done. And right now, Foley has 0% financing on new cat skid steers, mini excavators, and compact track loaders. Stop by any Foley Equipment location today or visit us at FoleyEQ.com. That's FoleyEQ.com.
The Grass Pad Man has all the seed you need. Now, who can make your lawn thick, lush, and green? The Grass Pad Man can. He has grass seeds for everybody's plans. Dogs and kids in your yard playing hard. After the fun and the sun, you gotta reseed your lawn. So come on down to the Grass Pad. The Grass Pad's high on grass.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC homebuyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com. And I look forward to working with you.
Hey, it's Cody Tapp, and if you're in the same boat as me, you're looking at someone, you're like, I can't keep living like this. I want to get to my weight loss goal. I want to finally meet those things. Well, I did. 6 weeks, 30 pounds. That's what I did over at Awaken 180's at-home program. I worked with them over the phone. I got online. They got a great app. See what recipes they had available for me. See what things they had to make it easy to do this process with them. I know you want to find out more. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or online at awaken180weightloss.com, and see how with no medications, no gym, and no calorie counting, just the support every week and free support for life. Look, summer's coming up. Maybe it's the pool, maybe it's vacation, maybe you just want more energy to play with your kids or be at those youth sports like I wanted. You can do all of that thanks to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Find out more. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here is your Game of the Week, presented by Hyundai. The baseball season is underway as we continue to see the teams separate themselves from the rest. Texas has had a resurgence, returning to form after winning it all in 2023. They will be tested in an early season series against Los Angeles. Will Texas be able to wrangle a couple of wins in the series? Don't let the urge to sing along to that catchy tune distract you from that truck drifting toward your lane or that lane-splitting biker creeping up beside you. Fortunately, every Hyundai offers available class-exclusive advanced safety features that can alert you to potential dangers around you, and Hyundai has over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. Because Hyundai is always working to ensure the road doesn't get you, IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Back here, Fan Club Friday. Rob Collins from Fox 4 hanging out with us here on 96.5 The Fan. We'll do a chip draft in a bit, but I do want to remind you guys we have a couple 2-packs of tickets for the KC Current. So the KC Current off to a great start. They're kicking butt right now. They got a home game tomorrow at CPKC Stadium. Houston Dash are in town. We've got 4 2-packs. They're SROs for tomorrow night. If you want to go, Drew's simply going to get the information of the first 4 callers to 913-586-7965. 913-586-7965. If you want to go see the KC Current tomorrow, it's a fun time. I got season tickets. I have a blast going out to games there. The team's awesome. The MVP from the league last year is on the team again, and she's already got like 3 or 4 goals, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So if you want to go to the game, 913-586-7965. Drew will give tickets to the first 4 callers, 2-pack for each one of you. We'll do the chip draft, as I said. Hopefully your mind's racing, Rob, of ideas of chips to draft.
Great chips to draft,
I'm sure you're just stressing out over it.
It's going to be real easy.
So we'll do that. We'll each get, 3 picks, we're thinking, or something like that?
Yeah, I think three's enough.
Because we'll do it between all 4 of us. But I want to talk golf for a second. Now, while Drew's on we'll get your perspective, then Drew's on the phone, but you're well aware of how this started. So Drew's going to qualify for, we hope, try to qualify, I should say, for a Korn Ferry Tour spot in Kansas City.
Yeah.
It all started because everybody was hyped up for the Masters when, oh my gosh, obviously it turned to be great with Rory. But going into it, our boss Spec, Andrew said, from the tips, from where the pros are playing, we could break 100, no big deal. Or I just didn't say no big deal, but they said we could break 100. And we're like, come on, stop. And Drew's very confident. Now, he has said, he hates when I say this because he's like, no, I said on my best day ever.
Sure.
But I'm like, yeah, I can
Our argument is that your best day ever ain't
not happening
at
Augusta.
Well,
now, you said you've been.
Yeah,
So
I have been to
what
Augusta.
do you make of the comment, and have you played there?
I have not played there. I would love to play there,
Okay.
but I walked the course, and everyone says this that goes to Augusta when they come back. TV does not
'Cause I've
do
been.
that place justice. You've been. You know how the fairways are. It's like driving down Johnson Drive by the pool, man. It is hilly. Everyone.
The whole thing feels like you're walking up and down a hill.
I walked the course and I was exhausted.
Trees everywhere. Yeah, me too.
Tight fairways, especially on 18. You've seen the tee shot.
Sure, I mean,
you know, it's like hitting the width of a highway. It's tough. I mean, I think, Drew, what's your handicap? 7, 8?
He's on the phone. I think 7 or 8 is what he said.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm a 7.
Okay,
so
all right,
that's my
all right.
handicap. And
There we
I
go.
was thinking about this. I'm like, on my best day, probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
But I would play it different than a normal course. Like, I would be very passive on holes. I would hit the old man 7 wood instead of the
Yeah, you just
driver.
take your bogey, your double bogey
I would
to
play,
shoot the
I
100.
would play
yeah.
bogey golf.
Everybody that's played there has said that it's the greens are where you're going to 3-putt every time.
Sure. Yeah, the greens are crazy. They're undulated, they're sloped, and you can easily hit the ball off green. I mean, you see the pros do it. You see guys miss putts from 3 feet and then miss the putt coming back from 5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
It's very tough. I also heard another thing about that shooting 100. You think you could shoot under 100, or do you think you could win the Masters if all you had to do was putt
I have seen this, yeah.
from the 4 farthest points on the green every day?
So I was thinking about that. It's like, if I 4-putt everything, I'm
That's
shooting
even.
a really...
You're shooting even.
Is it with the 4s and the 5s?
But 72.
Yeah.
18 times 4,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you're right.
That's even par. So
So I
you're gonna
can't
have
win.
You're gonna have to be 4 under every day, most likely. 3 to 4 under.
I kind of think on the par 5s, I'm getting birdie.
I think you're right.
But the par 3s, I'm going to have to 3-putt some. And I don't know that I'm going to 3-putt some.
Yeah.
No is my answer, I guess. No, probably. Maybe. I give myself a chance, but maybe.
I think it would be easier for someone to putt and potentially win.
I
Rather
think you'd
than,
figure it out. Like, if all you're doing is putting,
Yeah.
by the time you got to the end of the round, by the time you got through the end of 4 rounds, I do think you would increase the likelihood of you getting down to a 2 or 3 putt on some of those
Right.
up a lot.
You would make maybe a 4 instead of a 6, like you did on the first day.
Yeah.
So because of all this, we're going to get Drew into a qualifier.
Yeah.
Coming up next month out at Falcon Lakes. Have you played it?
I have played Falcon Lakes. I'm
What-
playing in a tournament there.
What's
in a couple
your
weeks.
what's your quick scout?
It's tough. There's a lot of water. It's a
lot of
obviously,
water,
it's Fountain
huh?
Lakes.
Yeah,
Obviously.
lakes for a reason.
And if
Makes
it's
sense.
and if it's windy like it's been the last 3 or 4
Yeah.
days, Drew, it's going to be rough, man. You
I
better,
certainly hope it's not
dude,
windy.
If it is, you better play that ball in the back of
And
your
look,
stance.
it's windy for
yeah.
everybody, I guess, right? But
You better play at the back of your stance and hit stingers, because if you get it up in the wind, the way it swirls out there, because it's wide open,
Yeah.
you have no control ball flight. You can't. You can ride the wind, but you can't like cut it into the wind and hold it. It's not going to work.
No, we always say. I mean, it was windy at Dubs Red. It wasn't as windy as it has been the last couple of days. But yeah, you're riding the wind, or at least if you're me, you're riding the wind.
we've got a perfect sports story for Fox 4 in May.
That actually is
Drew, radio producer,
Overcoming the odds.
radio producer trying to qualify for the Corn Ferry, or if he somehow gets himself in the mix at all. I mean, we told him if he's already going on vacation during the actual tournament, like, if you actually were to qualify and play a round of your life and qualify, you got to cancel the vacation. You got to play in the
Heck
event,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, my brother and sister would understand.
Yeah, no, well,
They'd have
especially
to,
your
man.
brother. He's a golfer, man.
Well, and
He's a pro.
So Rob, I'm in the process of getting my brother potentially could caddy for me.
Oh,
I know-
that's
Trying to fire me.
that's a much better option than Cody.
Come on. I told him. But I'm the second best choice.
Well, Spec wants to be involved, I think.
Yeah, I would
wanted
put
it too,
Spec
but-
second.
The text line is reminding me, Drew was worried because there's a chance some listeners could just show up and watch the qualifier.
Oh, yeah.
And Drew said, basically, they're not civilized enough. And so the listener just texted and said, reminder, listeners are not allowed due to being civilized. That's what Drew said. He didn't want listeners.
I don't trust the text line. Is what I don't trust people.
Drew, have you played in front of like people, like a gallery?
Yeah.
Okay.
I played golf all throughout high school, played in tournaments
Right.
and stuff, and all that other stuff. I'm used to playing in front of
Yeah,
people.
but not like high school, like maybe a scramble or something where there's a lot of people and they're boisterous. Because
Oh,
in high
people's are-
school they're quiet.
Oh yeah, I know, but I mean, just in general of playing with a group of people, and you're one of the last people to get there, and they're all making noise at the they're all hanging out away. Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
Text line says and Drew, by the way, someone said he has to shoot a 5 under to qualify. Drew has never claimed. Drew has never claimed he's going to actually qualify for the.
No.
For the tournament.
No.
I-
He's under no disillusion.
I have as good of a chance to qualify as Spec said he has to beat Maya Moore in a game of 1-on-1. I'm not
Or to
going
break
to qualify.
100 at
Let's be
Augusta.
honest. Like
That was when she was in her prime.
I'll be honest. I'm not going to qualify. However,
I said in a game to 10, he'd lose 10-0.
Yeah.
I'd give him one.
I don't know if he gets one, Rob.
Just like a hook shot that he got lucky on?
Well, like when you're playing with your little brother and you're like, all right, I'm up 8-0.
She lets up on the defense a little.
Score.
I think in this case we were saying make it, take it, but like,
okay.
So he's never even going to possess the basketball.
Better make that first one.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, right away, just fire away. Yeah.
I'm very excited though because I've been wanting to get back into tournament golf.
Yeah.
Because it's something I've had an itch for.
Yeah.
And now I'm able to scratch it a little bit by doing this. Even though it is a high quality qualifier, I'm still all about it.
You can't go do these. You can't go do these charity tournaments because every group of 6-year-old guys claims they shoot 42. Dude, you can't
sandbagging. Yeah.
It's not sandbagging. You just lie.
Cheating.
They just lie.
It's
You just lie.
I play in a bunch of those, and you can buy 20 mulligans if you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can buy your way to win.
100%.
If it's an if it's an actual amateur tour event, then no.
No. So when we play, we're gonna play. I don't know, a month or so.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out probably Drew and one of you and me and the other one. We'll play
I
a
think
scramble.
if you guys are the same, it's probably about we'll just split you guys up, and then Alex and I will go. I think 2-man scramble. That way, it's like especially for like people who don't golf enough. That's the best way to do it because I'm always hitting it from.
It's gonna be perfect.
I'm not hitting it
that'd
from
be
the
great,
woods
because I don't
every
golf,
time.
so that'd be
great.
terrific.
I mean, you can go first. You give us the read on a putt. You might actually hit a chip shot.
You never know. 913-586-7965. Someone said, Drew, the one thing though, man, you haven't played golf in front of a crowd since you became the voice of Blue Chew.
Correct.
Oh, well, that's true.
People are going to shout right after you swing. Chew what to do.
Sponsorship, dude. You need a blue bag
that's what we've
with
said.
Blue Chew.
We've got something in the works with some company.
On some sponsors are working with Drew.
I have some blue matte colored Titleist balls I can give him. You can play with those. That'd be fantastic.
He already told us there's a certain ball he has to play with
what are you
and
playing
everything.
with?
I play with the TaylorMade XP5.
Okay, that's fine.
I offered him a free box of Pro V1s, and he said that's not what I play with.
Well, it depends.
I mean, I can play
know.
with the Pro. I can play with Pro Vs, but I don't. If I have my choice, I'm picking TaylorMade XP5s. That's just what I
It
play.
just depends on it. Maybe he doesn't like the way they spin.
We said that was the one thing we were allowing when he was demanding different polo material.
Certain
we had to draw a
polyester for
line,
shoulders.
Okay, but like when he was golf ball, I'll let you choose.
Yeah. Well, I got 24 Kirklands in my truck. I can give them to you if you want.
That's what I'll be hitting.
But I'll be out at Advent on Pro-Am Day Wednesday, Drew. So
Let's go.
if you're there,
there you go.
Perfect. Exclusive interview. You
promise?
He promised the exclusive?
Only me.
Promising it to Rob Collins.
There it is. That's right. It's on the record
We're
now.
joined now by Drew Chew It and Do It Nixon.
That's right.
After every interview, after every interview, you have to end the interview. Chew it and do it.
Yeah,
you just have to every interview.
You got to be like NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
It's like how the movie
that's
Idiocracy
right.
is like, why do you keep saying brought to you by Carl's Jr.? It's like they pay me every time I say it. Like, there's no one around. Someone's asking you to say it.
They need to get your. They said you need to have your drivers redone the 3-wood. It just says Blue Chew on the woods of the.
There you go.
It brings a whole different meaning to somebody sitting on the tee box and yelling, "In the hole!"
Yeah.
Whole different meaning.
You got Blue Chew head covers.
That's right. Oh my goodness. There's so many things that would be. So many things that would be great.
Head covers.
That's right. Yes, we're following Rob. We're following
lots of choices.
It's a fan club Friday, all right. We've got Rob Collins hanging out with us. All right, we know the draft is next week. Somehow yesterday we got into a conversation about chips because Miller Lite is partnering with Pringles to do Miller Lite flavored Pringles. All right.
Okay.
It's a thing, I guess, that's coming out soon. So we were talking about chips. We said we don't usually do the draft everything thing just because it's the draft, but let's draft some chips. The four of us, 3 picks each.
Oh boy.
We'll let you start.
Picks.
We'll let you start.
Yeah, you're the guest. We can, you get the number one
Serpentine.
pick.
Serpentine.
You talking
You'll
brand?
take Drew says he'll take the 4th pick.
Specific. You can't just. I don't think just saying.
I don't think you can just say I'll take a plain potato. You gotta say Lay's. You gotta
Lay's original or Lay's barbecue or Pringles blank or whatever it is. So we'll let you start. Get us on the board. Someone needs to write this down. We're gonna have double dips.
I
here.
would say I don't like potato chips, so this is easy for me. I only eat corn chips.
Wow. Okay. So what's your first one?
Tortilla chips.
Okay. So what's your first overall pick?
Just go to Tostitos.
Oh man,
hint of lime.
Dang.
Come on, the number one overall pick.
They were getting
What was that? Your pick?
Yeah, because they give me a hard time.
Tortilla chip.
My favorite chip is just Tostitos.
Hint of lime. I like hint of lime.
The hint of lime ones are good. Can I?
If he says hint of lime, you can take
I'm
the
going
regular.
hint of lime.
If he,
All right. Am I getting second pick? Who's
yeah,
getting
you
second?
can take the second pick. It's
All
fine.
right, I'll take regular Tostitos.
You're worried it's going to be off the board now.
All right.
You know, you can't risk it.
Regular Tostitos for me.
God, my first pick. I don't feel like everyone's going to take, because we seem like we're going in the like, let's get a staple. This is like getting your starting left tackle. Let's not mess around.
That's right.
I don't feel like I need to do a flavored chip yet. I will take the Cape Cod kettle chip. I'm going to be very clear, that brand. The Cape Cod plain kettle chip for my first pick.
Okay.
Are we doing snake or is this?
Yeah, snake draft, so you get 2.
Okay, I'll do Cool Ranch Doritos.
I would have considered that. It's a strong chip.
And then my second pick, I'll do Hot Cheetos, which is technically my favorite. That's my favorite chip. But
All right, Cody's up again.
But you wanted the value, huh?
Yeah,
You wanted the value.
I did.
You got 2 and 1. That's actually not a bad spot there. All right.
Now, that's a good position to put yourself in. There's so many different choices. Now I know Rob's not taking any. Like, do I need to get in the corn chip family?
Yeah, I'm not taking
You know what?
those.
Because I know he's not taking any corn chip.
No.
I'm going to take the only corn chip that's on my list. And that is and I know none of you guys drink this or eat this, the Fritos flavored twist. The honey barbecue. We'll put this out
My
on
wife
Twitter later.
loves those, Cody.
Fritos flavored twist
She
honey
loves
barbecue.
those.
Put it on the board. That is my second round pick.
Okay. Fritos
think
twist
I've ever
honey
had
barbecue.
those.
Yeah, I don't think I've had those. All right.
Drew, at least you knew what I was talking about.
I
You
went
got it.
Tostitos with pick 1. Can I do another? You already have a kettle chip, but what if mine's different?
If it's a different, if it's not a plain kettle chip, but if it's got some.
All right. The Kettle brand sea salt chip. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Those are very good. Those are very, very
Jeez,
good.
Y'all gonna make fun of me because I'm at a loss. I really.
Well, you
don't-
eat too healthy is a problem, you know?
Maybe.
You just go with a traditional Frito.
You get
need
2 in a row
another
here.
tortilla
You get your
type
final
chip?
2 picks. These are your final 2 picks.
I really
Yeah.
like those. You know what? This is. I know this is lame, but I like sweet potato chips.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
Oh, okay,
Is there a
okay.
brand?
All right.
Is there a brand?
Walmart, Costco, whatever's the
I'll put
cheapest.
Costco. I'll put Costco. Costco sweet potato chips in your last pick.
I mean, that's the only potato chip I like. I like Chicharrinos.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want like a pork rind or something,
Yeah.
I allow. That's in the
All
family.
right. And then I guess my last pick.
I don't really eat chips a whole lot, other than Tostitos.
There's actually
queso.
quite a few options here. I'll go the Honey Blaze Barbecue Ruffle.
Honey blazed barbecue ruffle.
It's a barbecue ruffle.
I got
Barbecue
nothing against a ruffle.
A barbecue ruffle.
Okay.
I got nothing against a
Barbecue
ruffle.
ruffle.
So I'll hear you out on that one. So I was between a couple. Look, I thought about supporting local, right? I wanted to say like guys or
Well,
those
there's
things.
several out there that are
But because
very good.
but because I agree, but like my problem is that I also want like I like a little variety. I chose like a sweeter chip, I chose a plain chip. I also enjoy a spicy chip. So like spicy nacho Dorito would have been in the consideration. But instead, I'm going to go back not kettle because I already have a kettle chip.
Okay.
Lay's makes a jalapeno chip. That will be my final selection.
All right. Drew?
I love a good spicy, like
Two
a
more for
spicy chip.
myself?
You got 1 left.
You got 1 left.
Yeah.
You already took 2.
Yep.
Only 3 each. And then we'll have you send out the results on Twitter. We'll see who votes for who.
Are we making a list of this, correct? Or am I?
Yeah, he's
I am. You're going to have to spell check it because I'm doing it very quickly. But yeah.
I'm going to do the Nick Bolton Honey Blaze Old Vienna chips.
He chose the Nick Bolton chips. He's going for the local avenue. He wants some help.
Drew's a homer.
Old Vienna,
Has anybody
St.
had those like Joe's French fry seasoning chips from guys?
No.
I haven't had those. I see people mentioning those. I hadn't thought about it. People are just saying.
I hear those fries are good at Joe's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't know there's a chip. I've had the fries.
You never had the fries?
No.
Oh wow, that's
I
crazy.
thought you were joking.
I'm
That's
not a
crazy.
French fry guy.
You would never have one fry?
No, I'm not saying that, but I've never ordered them there.
You would love them. They're incredible.
I can't believe. Did we not
incredible.
take a single Dorito in this group?
Drew did.
Oh,
I did.
Drew took one.
Someone says this is a horrible chip draft. You guys are sleeping on the Bugles nacho cheese. Voodoo.
Bugle, come on. That's a kid's chip. That's not. Come on. Let's
Horrible
not.
chip draft. What are we missed? Everybody's always going to say there's something missing.
Yeah.
But
Now, are you
I'm
eating these
open.
by themselves? Because I rarely eat chips by themselves.
You usually have like
I
chips
mean,
and salsa.
Tostitos.
That
Being
was my
from
only.
Texas, man.
My only
Chips and
hesitation
salsa.
was that like, I considered like but like. I don't know. It feels like it needs the other thing. If somebody's just thinking like a chip draft, it feels like chips and salsa. Sure, I would choose like a local, like a good restaurant
Any
style
place, any
tortilla
Mexican
chip.
restaurant.
Hell yeah. I've been all over that.
Yeah. Or queso.
Someone on the text line is offended by the Bugles nacho cheese selection. Just like I can't believe.
Yeah, that'd be gross.
Oh, so that just feels like you would just like your breath would just reek.
It seems like it would hurt your stomach.
For days. Yeah, it does feel like that. I considered a sour cream and onion. I'm a big fan of those. I just asked if anyone ate Funyuns yesterday. That was part of the reason this came up. I didn't know anybody who eats a Funyun. There were some people in the text line,
I think I had them in high school a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said I was probably like
Someone
16.
said we went too basic early, got too cute late.
Or no bread beach.
I mean, we did start Tostitos Lime and Tostitos.
We did go basic. We were all taking guards with our first round pick. Nobody was trying to all safe. Everyone's just like, hey, this is
No
a
bus.
this is a
Starters.
7-year starter. No one's here to complain about it. We were just I was trying to establish
We
my
took
draft.
franchise left tackles.
I get it. None of us took wide receivers.
No.
None of us took we all just took
I'm
the
very
starter.
boring with my palate and food choices.
What's the most date? I knew that. I mentioned that yesterday on the air.
Meat and vegetables and fruit. That's basically it.
What's your favorite vegetable, at least? Give us that.
I like them all.
What's your if you did a vegetable
Other than
draft and you
Brussels
got
sprouts. I hate
hold on.
Brussels
If you got a
sprouts.
vegetable draft and you're choosing the number 1 overall pick, what are you doing?
Steamed broccoli.
Yeah, I like steamed broccoli.
I might go asparagus.
Steamed
with my
broccoli.
number
I like
one
steamed
overall pick.
broccoli.
Pretty
grilled-
high on my list.
Steamed broccoli, grilled asparagus is terrific.
Yes. Other than Brussels sprouts, I hate them. Can't stand the smell.
I feel like Brussels sprouts, it's hit or miss.
Yeah,
it's
not all
not.
sprouts.
It's not an always hit for me.
My wife
vegetable,
loves
but-
it. And she'll roast them in the oven, and it'll smell like Brussels sprouts in the house for 2 days.
Yeah, no, I
Just mad about it.
asparagus,
It's like
asparagus
fish in
and
the
broccoli,
microwave.
and asparagus, broccoli. Like if